and do a better version of it.
Oh,
So
I feel higher.
Oh my God! What happened?
Oh, I wanted to remove
You good?
it. Yeah.
Oh, wait,
Holy
oh,
Did we get that on film, dude?
We did.
Mike Schneider Podcast.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Alex Garcia episode. We are here with none other than Alex Garcia for the Alex Garcia episode. He is an awesome fingerboarder from the California scene. You probably recognize him for his late flips, super stylish switch and nollie late flips, and his amazing cinematography. So, welcome. It's great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Such short notice. It was just like less than a week we planned this thing out. Like, oh, we should. It was pretty much like a 2-for-1 for this past USAF B League, and then coming out here, it's 2-for-1. You know.
Yeah, it was an awesome last-minute trip and super productive and fun too.
We got a lot of work done. We got
did.
some parts done. We got some clips. Definitely helped you out with some audio, and yeah, just anything to help out, you know, a fellow friend with production value, and you know, I'm more than always down to help out.
Yeah, totally. I appreciate it. All the ideas and feedback and then technical knowledge and stuff has been super helpful. So hopefully the viewers notice like an increase in the quality of the podcast, both audio, visual, everything, you know? So yeah, the help is much appreciated.
My pleasure.
Yeah. So take us back to the start of everything, you know? You opened your eyes, you were born, and then how did it go from there? Where did you get, I mean, we mentioned California, but where in California did you grow up, or did you grow up somewhere else and then move? And yeah, when did you, I don't want to go too far ahead, but eventually get into like when you started fingerboarding from there, or skateboarding, whatever came first.
Okay. So I'm born and raised in East Los Angeles. Both my parents, they come deep down from Mexico. They both migrated here, like, I think my dad here in the late 80s, mid 80s. And my mom early 90s. So they both came to California because, you know, the Mexico situation during that time is just like not it for everybody. They didn't want to stay at home they just wanted a better opportunity. So I feel like that's, you know, that's everyone's goal when they come here to the States. And yeah, my mom just had me here, 1995, and they both met at a taxi corporation when taxis were big in the mid-90s. You know, this is way before Uber and Lyft and how convenient everything is on your phone. So everything was on call, everything was on radio transmissions. Yeah, everything was just all like that. And then that was pretty much me growing up. My parents were in taxi pretty much my whole life up until maybe high school. And then once 2013 came around, that's when I graduated high school. My dad, he still stayed in transportation, but that's when he started doing Uber, and Lyft was probably brand new at the time. So yeah, my dad's always been in transportation. My mom, she was doing taxi, and then she ended up doing medical field. I think she was I forgot her early positions, but she's been working hospitals ever since the decline of taxis were becoming a thing. So she just wanted to change different I guess fields. So but yeah, that was me growing up, what they were doing with themselves, and then me just growing up just skating all throughout East Los Angeles. I've been seeing a lot of East LA spots in skate videos recently, which I think is pretty sick. Spots I would hit in middle school, or would see since middle school when I started pursuing skateboarding and fingerboarding, whatever. They started like there's just a big surge. I'm just like, whoa, that's crazy. So but yeah, I actually did the reverse. I got into fingerboarding first, and then I got into skating, which is like so. I don't know. It's just so backwards.
That's awesome. How'd that happen?
So what ended up happening is when I was in middle school, tech decks were like the thing for guys. You know, some girls, mostly girls, they would just look, but all the guys had a tech deck. You were like cool and everything, right? So I ended up getting a tech deck probably mid 7th grade. I don't remember really. Maybe late 6th grade. I forgot how. I forgot the time period and how cool they were. Probably like 2007. So for me, it was like late 6th grade, early 7th grade. That's when they were like the biggest trend. And I remember finally getting. I saved up like $4 or $5, which was like, you know, $100 for me back then for whatever reason. I bought my friends Tony Hawk, Birdhouse graphic. I could remember it. It's like black and silver, black background, silver. It was just silver graphic, and it's just like the eagle, Hawkman's eagle design graphic.
That's a classic.
Yeah, I hope you know which one I'm talking about. If I see it in front of my face, I would just know like, okay, it's this one.
Yeah.
But the thing that sucks about that one is the minute I got it, I was using it like crazy on the picnic benches and everything. And then one of my attempts, it slid off the table. I'm just like, oh no, probably like a good 10 feet over there, right? Some random kid walks by and just like gets it and runs away. I'm just like,
No
dude,
way.
no, yeah, dude, I was so bummed out. You had no idea. Literally, probably I only had it for 5 minutes.
Dang.
Yeah, I got
That sucks.
I got the money, gave it to my friend, and
You think your friend hired that dude to steal it back from
no,
you?
it was
No,
a
I'm
complete
kidding.
accident. No, it was a complete accident. I told my buddy right away, and he felt bad, and yeah, I just felt defeated. I felt so defeated. I'm just like, oh man, I gotta save up who knows how much, and mind you, I don't come from like an allowance. My parents would never give me an allowance. That was just how it is. Usually if I ask for something, my parents would think I'm like, yeah, you're crazy. Like, we'll buy it when we'll buy it somewhere else, or we'll get it eventually, whatever. So like, I remember there was this one point I probably didn't have a sweater for like my first 2 years of high school, and I didn't realize that until like, wait, I don't have a sweater. Like, can I get a sweater? And yeah, it was it was very like weird. But yeah, like stuff like that, they wouldn't really like help me out for. Like, we're getting toys or anything like that. Like, I don't, to be honest, I think every little other thing I had, like for example Legos, they were always like gifted from like Christmas, and I'll just make it work until the end. Not to say they didn't buy me like anything, but like we could get a little bit more into it later, but like for sure they didn't invest in anything skateboarding related. Like for example, they never bought me a board. The reason why is because all this family drama that we've been having throughout the years, they didn't want my aunts or cousins to be like, well, he broke your leg because you bought him, you know, a full skateboard, so what'd you expect? So it was more like that. And I, looking back, like, okay, like whatever's, but really, like, that's really the reason why I didn't get a skateboard from you guys. So every time I needed like a deck or something, I would like save up however I got the money. Either my grandma would give me a couple bucks, or I think one time I remember asking like 20 friends for like $1. So that's how like I was able to fund like a blank board or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got hooked up a few times throughout. My cousin's boyfriend at the time, now husband, he hooked me up with a brand new complete. My cousins would just bring completes, you know, every now and then. But yeah, my parents wouldn't really help fund anything skateboarding or fingerboarding related. So I kind of had to work my way to get all the cool obstacles. The only thing they probably did contribute was just getting the camera, but that's about it. So just getting a little camcorder. So that's what got me filming, and that's what got me doing like fingerboard videos, a bit of skate videos. I still have like a few skate clips in there that I haven't deleted. And but what got me into fingerboarding first was just the trend in middle school, but what got me into skateboarding was my older brother. So for those who don't know, I had an older brother. He passed away back in 2008, and yeah, he just had a board lying around, and I just wanted to learn how to ride it. He taught me how to ollie, and yeah, that was it. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't really share that story. It's been like so long.
I didn't know actually. I'm
yeah.
like, whoa.
So, It just sucks kind of remembering a little bit, but yeah, he just taught me how to ollie, and then yeah, I just picked up skating because of that. So learning tricks little by little ever since after he passed. I started progressing a little bit. So yeah, anything skateboard related, I just can't let it go nowadays because when I remember the roots to it, it's just hard to let it go, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's just me.
Gives it like a special value to it, like sentimental kind of.
For sure, yeah. Fingerboarding is just like more convenient now for me because one thing that sucks is when you're skating and then you go to work the next day, your body just feels it. So I did that one time when I was working retail. I think I remember skating like the morning of. I had to do a shift, and doing a retail job like in a small shop, you would think you'd probably like go along with it or deal or just power through. But dude, it was the worst shift ever, and I was doing just 5 hours, and I was already done by the first. Like my feet were killing me.
Dang.
So I don't know if it was the shoes. I don't know if it was the amounts I had to stand. I had to like stand up for the amount of time.
Or you skated really heavy.
I skated like a big old like loading dog ledge, probably like the size of a 6 there.
Okay.
Yeah. So that took a toll. And then I think I had Vans on for sure, and Vans working a shift. I learned the hard way. Even when I wasn't skating, I learned just doing a whole shift in Vans shoes. The way how thin, the way how thinly made there are. I couldn't do it. So that's when I just kind of like migrated more to like Nike SB and other shoes that I felt like had better padding in them. And yeah, that was pretty much it.
Yeah, I noticed too when I used to wear Vans, sometimes like my back would hurt and I'd switch to a different shoe brand and my back would stop hurting, and I'm like,
oh, really?
Maybe they're really good skate shoes, but they're not meant to be worn like all the time. Or I think it depends on your body and like how it fits you and all that stuff. But yeah, your shoe choice is like kind of important. If you notice discomfort, like it's worth investigating, trying out some other ones.
I remember, no disrespect to Vans, I'll probably wear some still, but back then, the way how thinly they were done, they're probably still made like that.
I think they have different types. They have really thin ones and more rugged ones and all kinds of. I don't know much about shoes, but I know there's like a million options. Ask Stefan, he'll know.
Oh yeah, for sure. The technology has gotten better, like their whole insoles and everything. So I think that's great. But if I don't get them for like a cheaper price rather than standard, then I probably won't get them. I'll just stick to what I know.
You're the king of deals. You found that tripod out here.
Dude, I found that. Oh, man. Like, that was such a good last minute. That camera over there has the tripod, so I'm very stoked to go back to LA with that. Dude, yeah, that whole thing is like $150 retail. The guy wanted like around, what, $80, $100? It's been, almost a year since he posted it. I'm just like, dude, I'll get it for $50, like right now or today or tomorrow, whatever. And I ended up meeting him at your at Rendezvous, pretty much, your store.
Sick.
And he asked, he's just like, hey, what's going on here? It looks pretty busy. I'm just like, oh, just fingerboard events, the little tech deck.
Oh, so you invited him during the event to like...
I told him what it was. I mean, I told him like, hey, if you want to go ahead, but I'm pretty sure, he just wanted to get his money and leave. So,
yeah.
But he was curious. So
that's funny.
Yeah, I told him like, I'm out here for this. I told him like, oh, I'm from Cali, just visiting here, so I just needed a tripod to like, bear with me for the trip. So yeah, he was cool. He was happy. I was happy. I'm happy, and yeah, that thing, Benro. Shout out Benro. They're just like, I don't know, they're just so reliable. I really love that brand. I have like probably 4 of those, but they're all in LA. I couldn't bring them out.
Yeah.
And they're too big. That one's definitely travel friendly, and yeah, it gets the job done.
Sweet. So that's a good transition into film. Like, how did you get into film and where did it take you? Because, I mean, you're doing big things now, but I'm sure you, like you mentioned, your parents helped you buy your first little camcorder back in the day. When was that?
Dude, this was probably like... I should have... dude, I totally forgot. Probably, I think I was for sure in high school. Maybe 10th or 11th grade. 2011. Yeah, this was for sure probably 2011 because some of my old fingerboard clips date back to that.
Cool.
So, yeah, I was just... One thing I definitely, like was looking out for is, like, okay, is my trick in frame? and sometimes I would just leave the camera there just sitting and then do a trick, and then like, okay, it's completely off. So I started learning a lot of like film technique, and I even like I just started learning and being and I was just being observant of like compositions and of how I'm angling certain tricks and the lighting through fingerboard tricks. But when the movie, have you seen the movie Drive?
No.
No, Ryan Gosling, Nicholas, directed by Nicholas Winding Refn. It's the debut film of, you know who Oscar Isaac is? That he's in Star Wars and he's in a whole bunch of other films.
Cool. I don't know who anyone is.
No, so yeah, that was his debut film,
Sick.
and that movie was just so good. So I probably like going back a little bit. So 2011 for me was probably like I was going through a lot in 2011, and then I ended up seeing that film, and I just remember just being so inspired, and like something flipped in me. I'm just like, okay,
Wow.
that's what I want to do long term for like a career, because I'm in 11th grade.
Cool.
I need to think about a career or something, right?
Yeah, a lot of times you have no idea what you want to do and you're that far along.
Mm-hmm.
So
when I saw that film, that's definitely not a film to recommend to everybody, because it is kind of like on the slower side. It's not one for people to enjoy, kind of like, I don't know, like a Fast and Furious film, whatever, because Drive, like some people were like upset because they didn't see like too many crazy action films. But I remember paying attention to the visuals heavy,
mm-hmm.
and I'm just like, dude, I want to do those kind of visuals, So
Cool.
here I am thinking like, okay, what is it that I do? If I could do it with whatever is being brought upon me, I'll just do it. Like whether if it's an event or just a fingerboard video clip, like I'm trying to aim for that kind of style, filmmaking techniques, lighting. So yeah, that film is responsible for like the way how I think, the way how I want things to be viewed as. So yeah, if I have to do everything with the iPhone and just figure it out like that, I'll do it. So yeah, all of this was just like all the gear that I have is just mainly like working and then constantly investing back into yourself. All throughout the years, it took forever, but I never saw myself like owning this amount of gear, and I'm just always like humbled and blessed. Like, dude, I own this kind of quality, so it's time to show it. So I'm not gonna buy an expensive camera and just like not use it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, my setup definitely is overkill for filming fingerboard clips. I mean, snap, I'll do it with the phone any day, just for the convenience, how quickly you could get it onto Instagram. But that little extra work and effort, like done on a camera, it just goes a longer way.
It totally does.
You
Like,
know?
you can do a really good job with an iPhone, but then what you can do with a real camera, when you compare them side by side, it's like, wow, there's a huge difference still, even with how good iPhones are. It's like, camera's a whole nother level, and you can really control it and get it to look how you want. And like, it shows in your stuff, especially because your quality and like the look and feel that it has is very like high-end production style, like super like polished and smooth and fancy looking.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Pretty soon iPhone will reach up there. It's trying to reach
It's
up
getting
there.
there.
So yeah, so
But not quite.
not quite, because of the sensor length. The minute they increase the sensor in the mirrorless in the iPhones, dude, I think that'll probably be like game over for production. But at the same time, I always there was this one client I had, like, they kind of like stressed their phone enough, whatever. I'm just like, okay, well, let us pull up to your event with the iPhone, so and we'll do it for this much. What do you think? So yeah, and there's that whole battle between like, oh, you can just do it on your phone. Yeah, it works for some circumstances,
Right.
But for example, if you're gonna get married, do you want everything to be on an iPhone? Like, do you want to hear the baby crying on the side? Like, there's a lot of little things that they don't understand. Like,
Microphones and
it's so easy to use. Like, oh, I could just use my phone as a scapegoat. Yeah, but not for every situation, So
Yeah.
for fingerboarding, you can use your phone. That totally works. People make it work, and the edits, tricks that are captured on an iPhone, like, dude, it's like the convenience is there. phone and fingerboarding will never go away. But if you just think a little bit extra and think of it as a production value or something like that, play around with like buy it. It could just be like buying one light, plugging it into the wall, and if you turn off all your room lights and just have one little spotlight, it'll make just a huge difference. You know, all you have to do is just angle it correctly. Make sure if you're like doing a 180 trick, the light is not being blocked by your elbow and everything like that. Little things like that, if you consider, like it'll make just a huge difference. So, interestingly enough, too, fingerboarding, my fingerboard videos from like 2016 and 17 got me my first production editing job.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, dude.
That's amazing.
I literally showed them my fingerboard videos and what I can do, and the fact that I understood the timeline of Final Cut, and that's what they were hiring for, mainly specifically like Final Cut editors.
Yeah.
They loved how I understood the timeline. I challenged them, and like, yeah, I know what I'm doing when I'm editing, because there's a lot of people that just apply and just learn as they go.
Right.
But I knew enough, and the fact that I used my fingerboard videos is like kind of a small portfolio, because I didn't have anything before that. All I had was just fingerboard videos, skate videos, but like the skate videos had like not the best stuff in it. So I just kept it like, all right, whatever. I was nervous just showing them this fingerboard video, just like, okay, how am I gonna explain this or defend this? Because you know, there's like two other people sitting there, and they look like they know what they were doing, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm just. That would have technically been like my first editing gig being paid for.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I was one of like probably 2 or 3 editors that they hired, and because of that, I got connected with other people in the wedding or event industry, I would have to say, in SoCal, and especially in the Valley area, because that's where like all the money is, and the high profile clients that are willing to pay this amount, X amount. You know, I've done crazy budget parties that are just like too fancy and too bougie, and I'm editing those. And then I remember too, because I remember I had like a creative burnout. I just remember like what got me there, and I was like, dude, literally this.
Yeah.
Literally this, filming myself, filming my friends, all in my room, got me to where I am today. So I have nothing but good things to say about this hobby, you know. So
yeah, it's incredible how it takes people to different places, and like a lot of people's careers end up coming out of something that they started through fingerboarding, like whether it's video editing, graphic design, filming, anything, web design. Like there's so many things that people get into through fingerboarding when they're a kid, and then it's like their career comes from that. And yeah, yours is awesome. So you've been like filming. You have basically your own kind of production company, would you say?
Yeah. So I run my own video production company, AGT Films, and yeah, I just been doing my own thing, handling my own clients, and yeah, I just been doing my thing like that. I have the camera, I have the equipment. I just need like a full solid team. That's pretty much like one thing I'm lacking. But yeah, other than that, like I'm happy where I'm at. I have a lot of freedom. I'm pretty much my own boss in a way. So thankfully, like I'm in a good position, and I'm happy to say that. And when it comes to like pinpointing where it all started, dude, it's like it all goes back to this for me.
Yeah.
So it brought me nothing but happiness, a lot of joy, a lot of direction of what I want to do in my life. Because I think in high school, for sure, I was thinking, or the teachers made you think a lot, like, what is it that you want to do till the day, you know, like you retire? Like no one's thinking that in high school, right? You know, so
yeah.
I ended up just kind of taking that a little too serious. Like, okay, what is it that I want to do? Because here I am thinking like, okay, working at I don't know, a skate shop or Borders would be cool, you know,
Yeah.
be financially stable. But like when you actually do those jobs, it's just like, dude, like I don't want to go to work, whatever, right? So I did that for a lot. But then I started thinking in the long run, okay, what is it that I want to do? Do I want to go to college and everything? So when I was applying for colleges in 2011 or 2012, no, I think it was 2011, because I remember that was like the lowest year in my life, and applying to colleges was right around the corner from my high school. So they kind of forced you to apply to like 4 colleges and see where you get in. And I'm glad they did that. So we did that upon ourselves. They helped us out too. And yeah, I just ended up going to Cal State Northridge, getting my bachelor's in what did I get it in? Oh, multimedia productions. So I kept my bachelor's very vague, like whether it's web designing, video, audio production, TV production. I could pretty much take it all. Just just walk me through with training a little bit, and boom, like
Yeah.
I'll get the hang of it. It's almost
That's great.
It's almost all the same. Like I treat my fingerboard
Yeah.
production like any other production: lighting, sound, composition, record, make sure you record, and just
Yeah.
just dump everything, edit, produce, full edit, whatever, reels, and then export, upload, done. And that's all it is in the end.
Yeah.
So whether it's just either audio, this or that, TV, movies, filming something at home, it's all the same. So yeah, that's my direction of working and everything.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's good that they kind of push you to like, all right, pick something and do something and go apply somewhere, and like, even if you don't feel quite ready yet or you're not thinking that long term yet, to have that positive influence of like, somebody telling you go figure it out and do something and get started. Because otherwise it's just like, when do you start? You could be working at a skate shop for 20 years and being like, I wish I was doing something else, but I gotta be here. And yeah, it's cool.
That
And
was
then-
my fear, like
Yeah.
doing something I didn't want to do. And thankfully I learned that at a young age. Hopefully, someone who's in high school is taking their career a little bit serious, and I don't know, hopefully they could take that as advice, just like think long term. And since you're already fingerboarding, why not tap in more in the video industry? Because you're already doing it, might as well increase value, or maybe, who knows, maybe they already have like very good videos and everything to show to somebody. And just take it serious. I'm probably just a little bit too serious on this, like just the way how it looks, but
I don't think so.
I
I appreciate it, so I don't think it's too serious.
Thank you.
Like a lot of people take it not serious enough, and like for example, like you said, they might have an expensive camera and then they have it on auto settings, or their angle's crooked, or they didn't think of the lighting, or like all these little things that people do. And it's like, even if you have a cheap camera, you can focus on all those things and make it look pretty good. But if you have an expensive camera and you don't focus on all those things,
It
you're
shows.
wasting it all, and it's going to look worse than an iPhone in the end. So it's like, I think the attention to detail is appropriate on every level, and then especially on a high-end level, it's like you wouldn't want to slack, you know? It's like, it's just got to be good if it's on that level,
I agree, because
Yeah, and you have the eye for it, Like, not everyone has the eye for it or the brain for it or whatever it is. Like, you notice, like you said, composition, for example. Like, some people don't even think about composition or, like, know what that means.
Yeah.
So, for anyone who doesn't know what it means, what is composition?
So composition is pretty much framing whatever it is you're trying to do. So for example, if you're trying to get a fingerboard clip, make sure it's in frame. So let's say I want to hit this rail, you don't get your, I don't even have my phone with me, but you just don't get your phone, point at the rail, and leave it to record, and that's it. You don't do that. So what you do is, okay, you set your phone down, whether if it's on a tripod or a little, I don't know, on a cup or something. Just
Yeah,
put
I
your
always lean it up against an obstacle or a cup or something.
Yep, exactly. So if you do those kind of steps, okay, see if you could roll up. Make sure your roll up is in frame. Make sure you have enough clearance of whatever flip trick, because there's some people that overdo it like this high, or if it's low enough, the better, just to keep it in frame. But make sure the flip in, the roll up, and the right of way is in frame. That's your composition. Okay, click record, start doing your trick, boom, done. Last thing you want to do is film a clip and none of that is in frame, or if sometimes when you land, there's little vibrations that causes your phone to move left or right.
Yeah.
That's happened to me a few times. So that's the last thing you want to do. And if it's a hard trick, you're just like, oh, this would be sick to like post on Instagram or whatever, right? You don't want to do it again. You know? I've done tricks where I've had to do it again because oh, it does not look good. Like, let's say if you're gonna do a backside trick or a backside grind trick here, but if you're going to put your phone here and do backside here, you might block it with your arm. So those little things you kind of got to consider, like the framing.
Yeah.
Will it look good at this angle? Will it look like a I don't know, crooked grind here or nose grind, whatever. So it's those things you gotta like think of. Is it good here? Is it good here? Is it good in front? You know, that kind of thing. So that's pretty much composition in a nutshell. For the fingerboarding, there's also other, like, when you're filmmaking, you're kind of like, okay, this is gonna be like a rolling shot or a tracking shot. I'm gonna follow you from here, walk through here, and I'm just gonna follow you here in front. Don't look at me, and just make sure the videographer that's there has everything in frame and in focus. And those are other jobs, but that's getting a little too much into it. But for the fingerboard sake, that's pretty much what it is, just framing your shot.
Yeah. You can also, like, let's say I was going to film like a kickflip nose grind on this or something. You can just go like this and then play back your video real quick and see how it looks and see if it makes sense before you take the time to do the trick and like, oh, it was out of frame. And for me, I used to get a lot of tricks out of frame, so now I think about like, what if I accidentally do the trick higher than I want to? Will it still be in frame? And then I take that into account when I'm like setting up my angle. So that it's like, you know, because I want it to be, let's say, this high, but if it goes this high, like, will the top be out or will my hand be out? And then, yeah, just kind of, there's different things, like there's rule of thirds and there's whatever, like things in composition you can read about online too to kind of go further into like making the shot look nice.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's pretty much attention to detail.
Yep.
That's what I think about every time, like before I click record, whether if it's on a phone, camera, or like a buddy filming, like, yeah, just follow me, whatever, that's it, boom, I'm just gonna hit this. There's always like some people that do a little extra, they end up doing a line, and that kind of like, you didn't tell me, bro, like I'm panning this way, but you're gonna hit the quarter pipe, bro, like, and then it's like a sick trick, whatever, and I'm just like, dude, like, you should have told me you were doing something else. But that always happens. That's just the community in a nutshell. So
you gotta be spontaneous at the same time as planning all this stuff.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's how pretty much I do things, or what's been going on with me when it comes to filming fingerboarding, doing fingerboarding on my own, and yeah.
Yeah. What's your process for filming a trick? That's your question, actually. Remember you asked me, you're like, you should ask the other guests that. But now you're a guest, so.
Oh, snap, yeah.
And I've been asking that, so you'll see them.
Yeah. Oh man, I was not ready to answer that. So my process on a trick or filming any trick, I feel it's just documenting my progression of growth. So looking back at my old tricks, I see them every now and then. I don't see them too often, but like for the sake of, I don't know, whoever asks, or to see how much my edits have been, you know, growing. You look back at your old edits and you're just like, damn, I really let that slide. All right, I think I'll do it again like that, but I'll just tweak it, add in another flip trick or whatever, or a rotation, 180 out, whatever. So I always try to kind of make something, or think of a trick that's cool and hard enough to where, like, okay, like maybe somebody else could do it better, or I want to see somebody else do it. So I like doing like a lot of switch tricks and everything. So I always thought switch was like very hard, and I remember just dedicating like hours and hours, days on days, just learning like switch, nollie, because I always thought it was cool. Like some inspirations growing up was Paul Rodriguez, PJ Ladd. Every time they did something switch, I'm just like, dude, I'm just so blown away.
Yeah.
Like that's, yeah. So skateboarding definitely helped me shape how I want to film tricks. And when I'm thinking of like switch tricks or switch lines, that's where it comes from. You know, like spending so much hours on skate videos and just like, damn, I want to do that one day, but like I can't do it on a skateboard. Like I'm not that good, you know?
Yeah.
But so I just, you know, think of it on a smaller scale. Okay, what would be cool down this rail? And, you know, maybe switch blunt, switch flip blunt, switch backside flip out or something, or, you know, add a little bit more of a mix. So I don't know, that's my process of thinking to record or about to record any tricks, like oh, what would be sick, or what can I do? I definitely don't like filming tricks. I definitely don't like filming tricks that I'm like learning, because one, if it's static and if it's by myself, then maybe. But I'm learning the trick, and if you could do it once, you could do it again. And I'm definitely someone who like, I take laps when it comes to tricks. So like nollie flip, nose grind, nollie flips out. Okay, I did it. Doing it again. I just do it again until I get more consistent at whatever combo tricks. So it's like learning how to nollie flip. So when you learn how to nollie flip, you just take laps and then you like get better at it consistently. Same when it comes to rails, mani tricks, ledge tricks. I don't know. I just kind of get a rhythm going, and then sometimes like, going somewhere at an event, I just whip it first try on like a random obstacle. Why? Because I practice so much. So okay, like let me add to it. Let me click record something, and then boom, I just get tricks a little bit faster that way. And if it's a trick I haven't done that I know I could do, then maybe I'll risk filming myself or something like that, or I'll tell somebody to film me. And usually it always works for the most part.
Yeah.
But if I take too long, I'm just like, dude, screw that. I'm done. When I click record, I stick to 3 minutes. That way it's easy to play back and find your trick. But if it's longer than 4 minutes or above, dude, just stop recording. Just start the clip over. I kind of give certain like video notes when I do playbacks, either on my phone or my camera, like scratch this, delete, and then just go on to the next. And I give a thumbs up, or I just, right away like this, and that's when I know I landed. So it's kind of like a little rhythm when it comes to video playbacks and filming tricks, and like, okay, what can I delete? What can I not delete? And if there's a trick I landed earlier just fooling around, I kind of just save that as a mental note. I just tell myself like, oh, go back to like the first minute. I did like a, I don't know, kickflip nose grind ollie tray out just randomly. And I wasn't thinking because that wasn't the trick. I'm trying to do like switch flip, blunt, switch, backside, 180 lay flip out or something.
Yeah.
So that's when I stop recording, I just think about that. Like, oh, just go back to that trick. I don't know, post on Instagram or something. That's how I see. That's just my process of filming something.
It's awesome hearing like everybody's processes are so different. Actually, I thought they would all be the same for some reason, but they're totally not. Like, yeah, it's a really cool question to go into, because like for me it's a lot different than that. And then like one difference, for example, if I land a trick I'm not trying, or like, a different trick I thought of on the way, kind of like what you said, like, you're trying one thing and then on the way back you do something else, but you still didn't land what you wanted to do yet, so you keep filming, I'll stop it right there, because otherwise I'll never find that clip. So I'll stop it and make a new clip. Because when I'm editing, it's just, it doesn't matter how long the clip is, but it's the end of the clip. I go to the end of each clip, and that's where the landed trick is. And if I land something that's worth keeping and I want to keep it in that moment, it's like end the clip and start a new one and let's continue filming, and then I'll keep trying what I was trying. And then if it's a trick I never did before, I want to film it, because it's like, I don't know if it's something I'm about to learn, or if it's something I'm about to do once and never do it again, kind of like if it's like super hard, or like I was just feeling it in that moment and maybe not later. So yeah.
Everyone's different, which is, I think, is the beauty of fingerboarding. There's some tricks that are just like 5 or 10 minutes long. Seeing that kind of time is discouraging for me to go through. So I do get like, dude, I don't care what that is, I'm not going through it. Delete. 3 minutes is, for me, is just like, okay, sweet, like that's a sweet spot. Anything above that, like at 4 minutes, I'm just like, oh, 5 minutes plus, dude, screw that.
So when we're watching your parts, you're saying like all those tricks were filmed in 3 minutes each?
Kind of, yeah.
So you'll give up and go to a different trick after that, or?
Either I give up.
Come back to it later, maybe?
Either come back to it later, but to be honest, I just start and stop. Like if I'm doing something I know I could do and it's close, once I reach 3 minutes, I just start and stop again. That way it's just easier for me to like sort and go through, play back with much more ease.
So you will try a trick for longer than 3 minutes?
Yeah, so there'll probably be like 10 clips of me trying, I don't know, kickflip blunt, shove out on a hand or whatever. And I'm not getting it quick because I'm just like, dude, like, what's up with me? I'm camera shy, or, it's just not, it was working 10 minutes ago, but now it's not, like, so I kind of have like an understanding of when 3 minutes is. So I just go to my camera like, oh, 2.5 minutes. Like, screw it, just start and stop, you know? And I just keep going. So the more I see like 30 seconds, like let's say I get it like the last, let's say I'm like 4 clips in, like 3 minutes each.
Yeah.
And then the last one is like 30 seconds because I got it within 30 seconds of starting and stopping so many times.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's the one, you know? Anything like 3 minutes, okay, I could skip it, but I still check just, you know, because for the sake of things. Maybe I did get a trick like around 3 minutes, but it was probably sketchy. But it's the same angle at 30 seconds. This one's probably the cleaner and better one. And then boom, okay, keep that one and then just move on to another trick or something. So yeah, all my parts, all my tricks from previous parts, usually they're like around the 3 minute mark and below. You know, and if they're first try, even better.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, it's like fairly different. It's cool.
Yeah, some people go on for minutes and minutes. I start and stop. You know,
I'll just leave it running until I'm done, or which means either I landed or I gave up, depending on the trick. Oh, I just hit my knee. Oh yeah, yeah.
better than hitting your back earlier, falling. Oh man, I was bad, but thankfully I'm fine.
Yeah.
So.
That was ridiculous.
Oh man.
So basically, when you came into the fingerboard scene, how did that kind of go down? Because at first you were fingerboarding on a table and the kids stole your tech deck, and you know you found it through school. And then at what point did you find the online scene or the events in your area or anything like that?
Sweet. So little by little, this all is like a big old timeline. But I think in middle school, for sure, this is early YouTube days, so anybody's like making videos of anything. And for whatever reason, I remember, so this was like 7th grade heyday, like cool people have fingerboard, like tech decks at school, right?
Yeah.
So I remember just randomly typing in tech deck videos, whatever. And I'm just like, okay, I didn't know what to expect, probably like just, I don't know, simple shoves or whatever. But I've never seen tricks done like that. So controlled, like actually flipping. A kickflip actually flips. Here I am just like doing random stuff.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm just like, okay. I didn't think it'd be like so controlled, like doing tray flips and possibles. I'm just like, whoa. So.
And what year was that?
This was like 2007, 2008 for me. I did play the Tony Hawk games first. So I was aware of like, okay, skateboarding is happening, skateboard, you know, it's like it's a thing, but I wasn't into that or introduced to that yet. But fingerboarding, that was all introduced to me first, and it was like up close in person, because I always thought maybe skating is just a little too dangerous. I probably won't, you know, find my balance or way to it, or find friends to do that with. But everyone's fingerboarding, all my friends are doing it, like, okay, it was just more easily accessible to, you know, do stuff on. And yeah, YouTube was fresh and, you know, probably like 2-3 years old at that point. And yeah, I just saw like these random dudes just doing random tricks on, it's just, I think it was called Tech Deck Gods or something like that. I don't remember. But they were just having fun, dinner table. There's like rails and everything, all those obstacles. I'm just like, yo, that's cool. And then I ended up seeing Alexis Malant's video with the whole seriousness and everything. I'm just like, that's awesome. Like,
which one? He had a few different ones.
The Opus Zero. It's the one where he's like literally like this, doing tricks on like one lidded spot. You know which one I'm talking about?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think that one's the one I think that was his most popularist one. But I saw it when it was like fresh, early YouTube days.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was like, whoa, that's a film. You know, that's what I want to do eventually at one point, you know?
Yeah.
So I definitely took inspiration to that, and I'm just like, okay, time to learn, time to progress, time to, you know, time to get better. But, you know, like, I wasn't taking learning tricks or anything that serious up until I saw, like, okay, that's what you can learn. That's how you can do things. I just went all in.
Yeah.
You know? So learning everything, filming everything, whatever I had with, if it's like broken granite slabs, I used them as obstacles. Or yeah, early days, like I would build my own ledges. Like I'd have like skate wheels stacked up, put like, I don't know, a piece of wood, or my baseball trophies. I unscrewed those, made ledges out of those. So that was technically my first fingerboard obstacle. At least I want to think it's like a fingerboard obstacle, and I think I still have them. Might be at my friend's house. I don't remember, but I used those, and like that was it. And I loved how realistic they looked, like at an actual ledge, but just on a miniature scale.
Yeah.
I'm like doing all these tricks, so it shows, and I still want to keep going. I still want this to be as dirty as it can, with like all the grind marks, tail slide marks, all that. So learning on that little ledge got me going, and I just started thinking a little bit more, like, okay, if I place these broken granite pieces could make like a little bank. Can I put something over and just like, I don't know, kick over that. I started thinking like that in so many ways up until I started like trying out for actual companies who were sponsoring back in the YouTube days. So I do like trial videos, and all the other kids had like the advantage because they have actual obstacles. And here it was like, if I told my parents, hey, can I get this obstacle? They'll be like, no. I'm just like, damn.
Yeah.
So I'm already funding my own skateboarding, like shoes, boards, trucks, wheels. I'm already funding that my own. So I knew how expensive it'd be for fingerboard obstacles. And this is like early 2010. I don't even know if they were available on the west side yet. I know you guys were probably like already getting like Black River stuff here in the East Coast, right?
Yeah. So then you could get it online from us, yeah.
For me, what discouraged me was the whole language barrier stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was all in German back then. So I'm just like, I'm a click away. Like, it was very discouraging. I don't even think Flatface was a thing yet. So this was...
It was, but you didn't know about it.
Really? Damn, was I that obscure? Because I remember just seeing just pure Black River stuff from you. Pure Black River parks, obstacles. Probably like in early 2007, 2008. That's when I started getting introduced to your videos. But for whatever reason, just Black River was just like shoved down everybody's YouTube videos. And but yeah, going back to a little bit on the fingerboarding encouragement, Ethan Embling, like that guy, he was like, I took huge inspiration from him as well. And he had like a switch flip tutorial of how to switch flip.
Yeah.
And I got it, ran with it, and I think that's what's ended up like starting my whole Switch love for it, right? But going back to the whole YouTube and trying out videos and everything, yeah, I would just like, my goal was just to get like, sponsored, and hopefully somebody likes my tricks, my work, and if I can make videos for them, boom, So I don't know, that's just the way how I saw things. And then getting stuff in return, that's always a huge plus. And yeah, so it just kept me going. And it's cool looking back at all my obstacles, knowing that like I worked for this.
Yeah.
And like every obstacle is like a trophy, like for me. So I worked hard. I did buy a few obstacles, but like this was like right when I started working right after high school. But seeing the obstacles I had like probably late or early, or I think even setups too, like late or early, like late high school, I took that as a prized possession, and I was very proud of myself for that, and I just wanted to see how far it goes, and I still keep going, so.
Yeah, that's awesome. I feel like when you have to work hard for something, you really appreciate it a lot more, and then you make the most out of it. You use it in more creative ways and stuff like that. You don't just like throw it on the shelf and don't use it for 3 years. It's like, it's super special when you have those things that way.
Back then, I would use like my obstacles in different ways. I would do tricks, or probably stack like, I don't know, do lines out of it or something. That's what I would end up doing. First, I think it started with like tech deck ramps. For sure, those were gifted. I remember my cousin, she gave me like a stair set, like a block in the middle and then a ramp. It was like a blind course or whatever. And I remember like, hell yeah, I can't wait to use that. But I think my parents, they hid it from me for who knows how long, because for sure this annoyed them. And last thing they wanted to hear was that kind of noise, and it was plastic, so they knew how loud it'd be. And I remember just seeing it on the top shelf, because for whatever reason they hid it up there. And then I don't know, I think I ended up getting it for Christmas or something like that. But it was up there for a long time, and I remember just unpackaging it a little bit. Like I would just be like using it real quick, lip slide, kick flip, board slide, whatever. And then I'd put it away when they're at work, and then just leave it up there like if no one touched it. Cause
dude, that's amazing.
All I had were the ledges, and you can only do ledges for like so long, you know. And I just want something new. I want stair sets. I want this, that, you know. But yeah, like the whole no funding, you know. I had to fund myself.
Yeah.
But for sure, I wouldn't have been able to like probably afford a stair set like that back then, because I mean, with what money? No allowance, none of that. Like, no. So, the fact that my cousins, they saw me play around with it too much, to the point where they, you know, helped me out a little bit. I think that was great. You know, that was more than enough for me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, yeah.
Why do you think your parents were so against spending money on like stuff like that for you?
I could understand skating, because, you know,
They didn't want you to get hurt.
They didn't want me to get hurt.
Yeah.
And my aunts from my dad's side, they're all here in Cali. They're all here, over here.
Mm-hmm.
My mom's side, they're still all in Mexico. So my dad's side of the family, my mom knows them, you know. So last thing she wants to hear is like, oh, I broke my leg. And then everyone's just wagging their finger at my mom like, well, you bought him everything, you know, like. So yeah, she didn't want to hear that. And I can understand that now, because, you know, like, well, what if I was put in that position? But back then I didn't, you know. I'm mad because, like, you really kept this away from me, like what the hell, you know?
Yeah.
So
I mean, ultimately, you're still skateboarding, you know?
Yeah, I'm still skating, but the fact that, you know, they didn't really contribute to it, I had to do it myself. Like, hey, he found it, he did it. It's his fault if he broke something. But knock on wood, I didn't break anything too crazy. I did break my finger, but that was in PE in high school. So
Doing what?
Dude, it's such a dumb game. So in PE, there is this hybrid sport. Or, you know, the PE days, like when you're playing your sport and then you're running, like Tuesdays and Thursdays, whatever.
Yeah.
So my PE teacher, she did a hybrid between volleyball and tennis, and she called it volley tennis. I wish I broke it playing volleyball, because that's a little bit cooler to say. But I broke it playing volley tennis. So there's a whole formula to it. There's a whole structure, and then we did as she said. And then me and my buddy were like, kind of a little bit too competitive, and we're just like, I'm gonna get you, bro, I'm gonna smack it in your face, whatever. And that's what I did. I smacked it to him, but it went to his face. I was just kidding when I said I'm gonna smack it to your face. And I felt bad. I'm like, oh my god, like, Louis, are you okay? He's like, yeah, but I'm gonna get you back. I'm just like, okay. Well, maybe I hit it in the stomach area. I don't remember. I think it was the stomach, and for him, he tried to aim it to my face. The face was involved. I think it was more towards me. So, it's like the same as volleyball, but just in a tennis field. You know, the net's lower, because, you know, not all of us could be volleyball players. And somebody said it to him. Whoa. And it's going up. I was just like, oh, snap. I think it's coming. This is for me, because we're literally in the front line. It's like 9 people. We're all like scattered throughout like a position, right? And then someone says it to him. He goes up, spikes it right at me, but I remember just blocking my face for whatever reason, and all the impact, and he spiked it very hard at me. I'm just like, oh snap. I could handle wherever else it hit me, but for whatever reason, the way how he hit it towards me and how fast it was, it broke my index finger. This is the fingerboard finger.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
And you were fingerboarding already at this time?
I was already like deep in fingerboarding. Yeah. I probably already had like a 4-corner or something. So I had like a setup, and, you know, every time I come home from school, I'd like fingerboard right away. But I had PE for first period, and then by second period, I didn't know I broke it, so I was still playing. But by second period, geometry comes. I think I'm getting a pencil out of my backpack, and I just feel pain. Like, oh snap! And I see, and it was like very huge.
Wow.
I'm just like, whoa, this does not look right.
Damn.
So, I tell my geometry teacher, I'm like, hey, is this okay? Whatever. And he's like, oh no, go to the nurse's office, quick, go. I'm like, okay. so I go to the nurses. They send me to like the hospital or specialist, whatever. They cast it, and I'm back the next day, and I'm just like, but when I get home, I'm just like so bummed I can't do anything. So I was like in a cast like this, just one finger,
Yeah.
everything else. So I'm like kind of trying to like do this, and that was not working. So I'm just like, all right, time for a break, whatever.
Dang.
And yeah, and then I ended up getting a cast that cemented like these two fingers all here up to here
Whoa.
for like, I don't know, 2-3 months.
Wow.
So yeah, and dude, when that cast came off, I had to relearn everything I knew.
Oh man.
So I'm just like, I couldn't ollie, I couldn't do anything, and I'm like, everything just so weak for being casted for 3 months straight.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, it's probably longer or something, but I think 3 months sounds about right.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh no. And then kickflip just felt so foreign to me. I'm just like,
Wow.
dude, like, no, ollieing, nothing was working. So this was what, freshman year? If this was freshman or sophomore year, I can't remember specifically. I probably still had tech decks, but like I had like rip tape on that tech deck because somebody from a skate shop, they hooked it up. And my local skate shop back then, IDS, they had fingerboarders in there. I saw like an actual no comply complete, like super professional, white wheels. That was the first pro setup I ever seen ever in my life. And I just remember telling the skate shop dude, like, oh, can I play around with it? And he saw me doing like nose grind, nollie flips out, like all this stuff that I would normally do on a tech deck. And he's just like, whoa, dude, you're crazy good. Like, you're better than me. I just bought this because, you know, like, I just think it's like fun to play around while I'm working.
Yeah.
But no, he really tried to like hook me up. Like, he kind of treated me like a little bit as a sponsor, but whatever he had as extras, he just gave it me. Like, whether if it was, I think it was the ROM bushings, Flatface.
Cool.
I remember that. That was like he tweaked my tuning a lot, and then he gave me rip tape, but I was still on the tech deck. You know the no comply completes back then. I forgot how much they were, but he was not buying me that. He let me use his, but
Yeah.
I remember I would use his setup, and I think I kind of let him go a little bit because I mean I can't fingerboard. I had my cast, and by the time the cast was off, like he was probably at another job or something. So, but yeah, that was a struggle in my freshman year. I think
That's crazy.
yeah, I think by 11th grade I got a 4-corner complete setup, and then once I got that thing, dude, that was it. If I had that no comply complete, if he gave me something like that, I probably would have like progressed a lot more quicker than slower on the tech deck, because you can only do so much on that thing, you know. But with whatever I had, I just made it work, you know, and I worked for it. I worked pretty much for it all, and I'm thankful to be where I am now. I mean, look what we have in front of us. I'm thankful to even be using your park here and getting tricks on it and everything. Like, dude, this was like a childhood dream, you know, going like, oh, maybe going to Mike's house or getting clips at Rendezvous. Like, that's what I envisioned one day. And last year when I came out for that, I'm just like, yo, that was fun. So yeah.
Yeah, what was your first fingerboard event that you went to?
Oh my God, that's a story. So,
Cool.
so the first fingerboard event I heard about in the West Coast, it was at Huntington Beach. It was the Black River event. So Black River's in town. I'm like, oh snap, there's gonna be, you know, a lot of people there. Like, I'm down to compete or whatever, right? So I was already on finger skate at the time, and I pulled up with like a super China setup, super. So a buddy of mine, we kind of planned to go together. I had just gotten my license. I just got in a car. My parents helped me out because I was going to college my whole freshman year, traveling 2.5 hours just to get to campus, and then another 2.5 coming back.
Every day?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was crazy, but thankfully
Whoa.
I lived right around the train to easily access and easily get there. And I would always skate going there and then skate coming back. Like going on the bus, train, I always had my board with me. So when sophomore year came around, they helped me out with the car. And yeah, I'm just like, okay. Probably, I think I was in school already for like a week or so. And then I see like the Black River event gets announced. I'm just like, sweet, hey, we should go. All right, cool. And I already had like enough anxiety driving solo by myself going to school. But I'm going completely south. I don't know how to get there. I don't think GPS was a thing from, I really didn't really understand how to use GPS, whatever. And I was just like, okay, that was probably one of the first times I kind of like had to figure things out. So my dad was the taxi driver. So he's telling me like, look, just take the 405, get on the 5, then the 405. And I'm just like, okay. So, but yeah, it was a Saturday, I remember. And he bailed on me last minute. Like the morning of. Like, dude, I don't think I can make it no more. And I'm just like, great, what am I going to do? Should I go? Should I not go? And that's when I just said like, all right, whatever. I'm just going to go. Like, I don't know anybody. This is my first event ever. And you're there. You know, like, okay, I'm going to meet Mike and everything, right? So I'm excited. I'm pumped. I'm there.
And you found it.
And I found it, thankfully. But, dude, I remember just being so lost. I'm like, okay, this looks like too old Ward Village. So I had to see the flyer again. I'm like, oh, okay, I think I'm here. So, yeah, I'm there at the grinder spot where everything was at. And the contest happens. I enter. And, yeah, I didn't even expect to do anything good. I don't think no one was like, okay, this guy's going to go, this guy's going to go, whatever, right? And my first event ever, I ended up, like, qualifying for, like, the semis, whatever, or top 10, top 8, whatever. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, I'm just like, okay, I think I'm good because I'm qualifying. So I see people like Mallory Curtis there. I see you. I see, I think Chris Desso was there too as well. And like a whole bunch of other fingerboarders. I'm like seeing what they can do. I'm just like, yo, this is insane. You know, I'm just like, I hope I qualify, you know. Everyone here is just so good. And yeah, I just give it a shot. And I end up being like, what, top 4 or 5?
Sick.
And I'm playing against you. You know, and I'm just like, dude, like, this is my first event ever. I'm playing against Mike Schneider. I'm by myself. This is definitely one of my first time just being away from everybody. I'm a skater, so I know more local stuff. But I'm in a completely other territory domain that I'm like super new to. And I mean, snap, I didn't know what to do. And I remember it was top 3. It was me, you, and Mallory for the finals. And I just remember being just so nervous. I'm like, okay, I seen Mallory's videos. I seen your videos. And I'm playing up against them. You know, and I'm nobody. You know, like my YouTube was probably still like 150 subscribers or lower. Maybe even 100. I don't even remember. But I ended up doing enough tricks to beat Mallory. Shout out Mallory, I love you. So she gets out and it's just us two, and that's when the nerves kick in. Like literally, I'm attempting tricks and my hand was shaking. I'm so nervous, just being solo, not knowing what to do after playing against you. You know, someone I looked up to, like, you know, even to this day. But back then, like, you know, like it was a dream to meet you, and I didn't even know what to do. And I think I had I think you got A or something. I don't even remember, but I ended up losing. But I got second place, and I'm just like, hey, I'm down for that. Oh, Chris Kraft was there too. I forgot he was there. He was announcing pretty much the whole thing, and I remember seeing him in a few of your videos too, and I was just like, this is awesome, you know.
Yeah.
So that was my first event. And I ended up leaving with like Black River trucks, the G13, I think.
Cool.
I think I still have that G13. The
Sick.
Sam Maroney Digi Camo graphic.
Whoa.
That green Digi Camo, and
Yeah.
then like the skeleton graphic deep in the middle. I still have it. My dog almost chewed it up, but he has like little bite marks on it. But that's not. It doesn't affect the performance for sure. But
Yeah.
I remember it was like in his mouth, just like no, don't ever get that. So
Dang, that's an amazing first event story though. That's like so cool. Just like going into uncharted territory and then like just doing really amazing and being like, what the heck? Like,
I got back my what I got video is still on there.
oh, sick.
Yeah, on my YouTube channel.
We gotta watch that later.
Oh, it's so cringe. It's so.
I bet
cringe.
it's amazing.
I'm like super. You could hear how excited I was because I remember
It's
seeing
awesome.
it a few times ago, a while ago, and I'm just like, oh my god, I sound like such a kid. I'm 19 at this point, So, yeah, it was. It's just funny looking back at it.
That's what it's all about though. Is like staying a kid forever in that way. Like you're always having fun. You're just excited about stuff. It's like you don't want to grow into like this adult who's like not having fun with anything. It's like
Yeah.
you might as well have fun with the things you like always. So like, yeah, I don't think it's cringy. I think it's awesome, dude.
For those who know me, they know I'm a kid at heart. Out of the whole group of my immediate friends, they know I'm like the most mature dude there. So yeah,
It's a good balance,
Yeah,
You're
for
like
sure.
super serious when you need to be, and you're super chill when you any other time, just have fun and stuff, and like you're able to joke and stuff. So it's important to like staying youthful and healthy and happy. So yeah.
Yeah, that price pack, it was cool. Left with a couple Rams. I remember leaving with the Black River low rail.
Cool.
It was so cool. Seeing it in those videos, I'm just like, yeah, it was insane. So with hard work and dedication to whatever you do, it'll pay off, and you'll see it eventually. And I just take those words and that mindset pretty serious. So yeah, as long as you do your work and hours, it'll show. I mean, doing events, the cameras kind of speak for themselves. Like, dude, you're a little bit too much. I own them. What? They're just gonna stay on my shelf just for work only? No, like, I love bringing them out. I love taking them to events. I love filming, the SoCal group and everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's my hard work here. So just because I have an overkill camera, or just because I have a camera that's just like too much for fingerboarding, dude, I worked for this, so
Totally.
yeah, investing back into yourself and showing it back into like even hobbies that I'm just doing, fingerboarding. Yeah, I use them for mainly like my main production work when it comes to events and everything, or whatever I'm shooting. I always bring it back to fingerboarding. So
Yeah.
that's just my take on things.
That's awesome.
So
Oh, dude, was that blunt fakey?
yeah, that was
Sick.
blunt fakey. So yeah, that's
Cool.
just-
You got any other fingerboard stories that we need to cover? Like, I don't know, first sponsor, or like when you met Stefan, or like, I don't know.
Oh, when I met Stefan. So how I got on Devise.
Cool.
So Beast Pants would have at events back then.
Yeah. I think I went to one.
Yeah, that's where I met Ryan.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it was just so cool those days. Oh man, I would cherish them for me for as long.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to remember them for as long as I can remember. So I met Stefan at a Beast Pants event, probably once way before you guys came out. So I remember there was like a super last minute Flatface Beast Pants collab event, and
Yeah.
it was announced like that same week. So I was lucky enough to even be on Instagram and see it, because it was just like so last minute. So the way I got on Devise and met Stefan was at a Beast Pants event. I said hi, we just hung out. It was him and who he was dating at the time, and we were just hanging out. I saw his board setup, and he said he was making boards himself, and I saw internal plies that were different colors. I'm just like, whoa, I haven't seen this.
Cool.
So that was so cool, and I just remember saying and thinking like, oh, dude, like like, oh, it'd be cool to try out one of your decks or whatever. And I think, I don't know how that connection happened or how that I even came about. And I totally forgot how he even put me on the team, but I met him at an event. And maybe just being constantly at the Beast Pens events, every time he's there, he just naturally just put me on. I think one of his team writers had just left, and he had like an open slot.
He's collecting Alex's too. He
Yeah,
has a
just
lot
pure
of them.
Alex's. I was the third one. Yeah, I was the third one because Miso, I think, was the first Alex, and then Hancock was the second Alex, and then I was for sure the third Alex. And I think, if I remember correctly, he kind of hesitated to put me on. He's like, "Oh, dude, I don't want a team just filled with Alex's." And I remember him. I kind of remember him like hinting at that, like, "Hey, bro, like, I would if your name wasn't Alex." But then he just kind of like, "Screw it, like, I'll just put you on, whatever." So I'm just like, "Sweet, yes." And I remember my first blank bottom he did. He had the internal plies. I still have that board. It's very tiny. It has like a shorter tail width and everything. But I like smaller boards at that time, and I remember I think I placed in one of the Beast Pens event, and I had a catfish. That was a very cool board, and one of my parts was just filmed entirely on that. But this was way before I even got on the Vise. Probably it was one of my first New Year's parts before I got on the Vise. Once I got on the Vise, I just used nothing but Device since. So I liked the way how his graphic looked. I loved how simple but yet so creative the D is. Like, just, you know, it just trucks on the side, but if you flip it, it's like how an actual board looks if you look at it like eye level, right? So I thought that was very creative, and every time I look down on my board, my own board, I'm just like, oh, sweet, it's like right here. So yeah, I always really respected the time and effort Stefan took to like make the boards, design his company and everything. I just wanted to be a part of it, and thankfully he put me on, and I've been on for 8 years, probably going to 9. So yeah, it's been a long
Sick.
time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mhm.
Stefan's the man. His boards are great too.
Yeah, I love Stefan so much. He's done a lot for me. I've progressed because of his craftsmanship, and I still continue to progress. I think I'm definitely not too comfortable to where I'm just like, hey, you're kind of just like, I still want to grow in anything and everything I want to do. So
That's
whether
good.
it's changing my production or changing my editing, changing, I don't know, quality or whatever, I definitely want to like still keep growing, career-wise, hobby-wise, and, you know, fingerboard-wise, just all that stuff. I just want to still keep going. So
That's the way to be. It's really good to be progressing and always open to learning more, not thinking like, oh, I know everything or I've mastered this thing and there's nothing more. Like, you don't want to get bored and you don't want to get complacent. You want to get always like, you know, what can I do even better next time or even better right now, or, you know, that it keeps it fun.
mhm. That's definitely the mindset to have, and I live by those words a lot, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, I remember I wanted to tell you this too, but going back to the Beast Pants event, it was my probably second or third event, the Beast Pants events, and I remember the first person who recognized me because of my videos. I always cherish, you know, the person he was, and there's this guy, his name was Johnny, and I'm just fingerboarding a random park. I've probably been in there for like 20-30 minutes at the Beast Pants events, and, you know, cool, amazing parks, you know, custom made parks. I'm just like, all right, like, time to use them. And there's this one guy, his name is Johnny, and he recognized me. I'm like, hey, are you Alex Garcia? And I'm just like, how do you know me? Like, what? Like, I thought I was still low key and everything, but he recognized me from my YouTube videos.
Cool.
And that's like my first encounter with with somebody recognizing me through my work, and that's just always been so special, you know. And that was the first person, and it sucks because tragically he passed away probably a month or two after that.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it was it hearing that news, it sucked. And I
Yeah.
think you guys were in town for that, because I remember there was another Black River event in Grinders, and there was like a trick, best trick for him or something like that. I remember it was like in his memoration, and I think Ryan was there too for that. So if Ryan was there, you for sure were there too.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I just remember like, dude, that happened, and it kind of it sucked hearing, but looking back at it now, like, it's definitely something I'll cherish for, you know, the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, being recognized by somebody like that and they end up, you know, tragically passing away, that sucked. That definitely sucked.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's happened to a few different fingerboarders over the last, however many years. Like, even when I started fingerboarding, I remember, like, there was a guy, the dude who started Porn Storm for Black River, or, like, not for Black River, but, like, you know, he was with the Black River dudes, like, in Germany.
Uh-huh.
And, like, he passed away. They, like, dedicated, I think, Pissing Fingers 2 was dedicated to him, if I remember correctly.
Mm.
And I just remember, like, I was so little at that point. I was, like, 10 years old. I didn't even know, like, what it meant to die, practically. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, before you quite comprehend it, I'm just like, what do you mean? Like, he's just gone? But, like, here's the footage of him. Like, it's just, like...
Mm.
And then, like, later on, you watch it again when you're, like, you know, 12 or 13 instead of 9 or 10, and you're like, oh, my God, like, you know, it makes more sense as you, like, understand the world a little more, and it's just, like, it's crazy.
Yeah. When my brother passed away with all that, a lot of stuff was going on. Family, he was with us for a bit, and then that's where, you know, it hit me to, like, understand and acknowledge death at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, yo, like, it sucked, you know?
How old were you then?
Dude, I had just started 8th grade, so I was probably like 13.
Yeah.
I was 12 going to 13 because he was with us when I was 12, and he was older than me by like 11 years, so he was like 24.
Mm-hmm.
23, 24-ish. That's how old he was. And then, yeah, he was with us. I remember sometimes I couldn't, you know, fingerboard in my room because he'd like, you know, stay in there all the time. And I was just like, whoa, like, you know, a lot was happening, like, family-wise. Don't really want to get too much into it, but when he passed, I'm just like, dude, like, you understand earlier than others, or I think you have to, because, like, you know, yeah, I was 12, 13 years old, and that's like, you know, it's my older brother. I wouldn't see him every so often because we're stepped. We both had different moms, but we have the same dads. So he was more with his mom, and then a lot of stuff was going on. He was with my mom and my dad, or our dad, and yeah, he just had, you know, that was my introduction to skateboarding right there. He'd do like a couple of tricks in the front, and I thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just picked it up after him. The neighbors too, they knew what was going on, and his mom ended up coming to my house and just took everything of his, including his board. And I at least like wanted one little thing, right? Like, but she took everything: guitar, skating, his bike. I got a little bit into biking because of that, because he had like a pretty good, I think it was a GT bike or something. So that thing would push. That thing was fun. So, but yeah, I just always thought, like, that was so weird. And I remember my aunt came in before that, like, checking, like, to see if, you know, my mom and dad were home. They weren't. So I think it was, like, pretty much all planned out to get the stuff in my room. And I'm just like, dude, like, I wanted a little something, right? But,
Yeah.
you know, his mom ended up taking everything.
Well, you have a whole life journey that's been impacted by what he introduced you to, so
Yeah.
you have that.
At
At least it's not a physical, tangible thing, but it's deeper than that. You know, like every time, you know, you have skateboarding and fingerboarding that like relates to him showing you that. That's like pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool that he introduced me to that, and I still live by the skate culture, and, you know, everything I do now or anything I buy, like, you know, whether if it's apparel or anything like that, I just keep it strictly skate based. And as I get older, I thank skateboarding a lot because it kind of helped me find my identity. Because before that, dude, I didn't even know what I was doing or trying to do. And I think skating a lot for that, and then who would I think for skating? It's my older brother.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's been over 10 years, and he still lives in my memory. Like
Yeah.
I can never forget about the stuff he's done for me, but understanding the roots, all because of him.
Mm-hmm. Very powerful.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, but now as I get older, I'm like kind of letting skateboarding a little bit go, but I'm still watching videos. I still keep up with tricks that are going down, and some tricks that are like crazy. I'm just like, dude, I kind of want to like give it a shot at an obstacle or something.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's just my upbringing. What else happened during YouTube days? I did guitar playing first before I even did anything, probably.
So before fingerboarding even?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I definitely had a huge passion for guitar playing. I I think it was like after a year or two playing, you make up your own song. I entered this contest that my middle school was having. All right, guys, this organization that sponsored, that sponsored our middle school, like giving us free guitars, free this, that,
Cool.
whatever. They hooked it up pretty good, and they had like a little competition saying like, oh, if you produce your own song, you have a chance to win, an acoustic, possibly an electric, or whatever. And literally, my group of friends during that time, my guitar playing friends, we all entered, and I think I ended up getting the acoustic, which was super great. I won the free acoustic because of the song I made, and my other friend, her name was Senai, she won the whole electric. I had never
Wow.
heard her song. I really wanted to hear it because it was recorded on the side somewhere like over there, and I really wanted to hear it, but I think like it would have messed her up playing it or whatever.
Yeah.
So, out of respect, like, for people to record their songs, we couldn't hear it. And I still haven't heard it to this day, which kind of sucks, but I kind of want to compare it to like, oh, let's see, like I really want to see what you did, and hear
Yeah.
what you produced. And I ended up just doing like a small little chords and like finger picking parts in it. So they like that. And yeah, I got the guitar FedEx to me, and I thought like, whoa, like I have a free guitar. So like there goes like, the whole dedication to certain things. Like me, when I was guitar playing, like I think they were probably going on around the same time. I don't remember, but I think it was 7th grade where fingerboarding and guitar playing were introduced to me. That I was able to earn my own stuff. So I still have the guitar, it's still with me to this day.
Yeah,
And,
that's awesome.
Yeah, dude, I need to keep that thing for as long. Even though the neck stock is kind of like breaking apart because the wood is getting old, I'm still keeping it. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's staying in the garage somewhere. I don't care where it is. It's staying with me. It's actually hung up in my room right now. So
Cool.
yeah, and it just shows like everything in my room. It's kind of like, yeah, it's a mess because fingerboard obstacles around. It can get pretty messy the more you have. But you look back and you remember like, dude, like I put in so many hours into learning tricks, learning how to film, learning how to edit. It shows, and if people like it, they'll support and respect you. Whether if it's too many of one tricks or whatever, I honestly don't care. Like I do it because I do these tricks and I do fingerboarding and I do filmmaking because I love it.
Yeah.
So for anybody to put you down because of your success, for them to put you down or think they're putting you down, I think you're doing something right.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
So, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
Like, don't even let it get to you, but take it as a compliment.
Yeah.
For sure.
So if people are talking about you, yeah, you're doing something right.
Yep.
So good or bad, love or hate me, dude, it's all in. I'm winning in the end. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I'm happy. There's also a few words I remember kind of caught me off guard. When I first read it, I'm just like, I didn't get it. But as I got older and I started pursuing more of my career of filmmaking, that's when I knew like, oh, okay, that's what he meant. So Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu, he's a director. He ended up winning an Oscar for The Revenant. Have you heard about it? No. That film with Leonardo DiCaprio.
I don't think so.
No? So it was my days in college. I'm still like, you know, filming and everything on the side back at home, right? And I remember hearing a quote. It said, love or hate my films, but if I'm just okay, I didn't do my job correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like,
Makes sense to me.
it makes sense, but at the time, it stuck with me, but I didn't get it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until like the more you produce, the more you make. You either love me for, you know, the work I produce. If you love it, great, I did my job.
Yeah.
If you hate my work, you're talking about it, it's in your mind, you're doing your job correctly. But if you're just like okay, that's the most failure. And here I was thinking like, oh, okay, it's just good, right? Because my mindset's different. Like, okay, if you make something okay, then, you know, keep working, you know, to the better picture, whatever. And I'm just like, damn, doing just okay is just not enough for some people, you know? And that was sticking with me, and I'm just like, okay. I've been living by those words ever since, so I'm just like, okay, like, ever since I heard those words, like, I think early or mid-college, I'm just going with it. So that helps.
Yeah.
That helps a lot going through, you know, people talking just negatively of you or whatever, and I'm just like, if you're talking about me negatively, I'm doing something right. You
Yep.
know, so I just don't let it faze me.
Yeah, totally. It's a really good attitude to have. I definitely think similar to that too. Because, yeah, like when I was younger, I don't know, I was more sensitive to criticisms and stuff like that. And then, I don't know, over time I kind of like toughened up and realized like, okay, no matter what you do, there's going to be someone who likes it and someone who doesn't like it. And if you're on a big scale where a lot of people know you, you're going to have hopefully mostly a lot of people that like it, but then also you're going to have more people that dislike it, you know? It's like if you have one person who doesn't like it, it's not a big deal. But if you have like 1,000 people who doesn't like it, but then like, you know, 1,000,000 people that do, you can't let those 1,000 get to you. Like those are not your people. But like you said, it's like they're still talking about you. You did something substantial enough that they're wasting their time saying like, oh, that's stupid, get a life, do it on a real skateboard, whatever the heck it is, like little things. Which like those comments never really bothered me, but it's just the whole like thing of like you can't please anyone no matter what you do. Like somebody out there skateboarding, there's probably 1 out of 1,000,000 kids watching like, oh, do it on a real snowboard, you know, why are you doing a skateboard? Like you can't please everybody. And then yeah,
Story of our lives.
Yeah.
We've been dealing with that for.
Yeah,
I mean, I
but
still get comments like that to this day.
it just bounces off me. I don't even like notice that I read it. Like it's so I just like literally ignore it. It means nothing. Like
Yeah.
But yeah, for anyone that it does mean something to, I would encourage you to realize like that it's not what you should be worried about. You know, it's not worth it. There's nothing that comes from worrying about people's disapproval, because it just means you're doing something different than they are, which is fine. We can't all do the same thing. That would be really stupid.
And we all can't do the same tricks or produce the same work that everybody else is doing. Because for me, I always wanted to be different, and I always strive to be different, because it makes you stand out a little bit more. And the more you fall into the norm, the least you'll stand out. So for me, so for me, like, okay, call my camera setup a little bit too much, but like, I just want to be different. And I use it for more than just fingerboarding. I use it for like, you know, my own productions and everything. So I'm just, you know,
I
I'm just
notice
using it.
when people complain about stuff like that, or even just anything, a lot of times they're complaining about something because they don't have it.
Yep.
So it might not be conscious, but if you go deep enough, or they go deep enough, they realize like, oh, I'm just jealous or something. You know, it's like if let's say they're not even your camera setup, that's an obvious one, but like let's say fingerboarding, they're like, oh, get a life. It's like maybe they're not having enough fun. And so instead of finding their fun and their passion, whether it's probably not fingerboarding, but it could be some thing that they like and they stopped doing when they were, you know, they shouldn't have stopped and they did. It's like they're just going to tell you that you can't have the fun that they're not having. So it's like
That sounds like a you problem, buddy. You know?
yeah, exactly. It's like if anyone thinks what you're doing is stupid, no matter what it is, it's like it's probably because they're not doing their stupid thing that they should be doing. That's, you know, not stupid. I'm calling it stupid as a joke, but in comparison to what they're doing, you know. So it's really just like people that are actually happy will give you compliments too. You know, it's like if they're secure in their way of living, then they'll be intrigued and positive about the things that you're doing that's different. They'll be like, oh, cool, you know? That's it.
Mm-hmm. And if you're doing what you love doing, more power to you.
That's
you
the
know?
most important thing.
Yeah, I can't get enough of fingerboarding in different areas, fingerboarding different parks. I love all that, you know? And
Yeah.
I just like, you know, going to slush coat events, you know, those events are a lot of fun. And yeah, it's just, it just keeps you going, keeps you motivated, keeps you inspired. I mean, I'm inspired by other people who are like filming on their phones,
Yeah.
you know?
Totally.
And I'm just like, dude, like, I just don't understand that argument and people just being like so judgmental towards like either certain tricks or certain people, and I'm just like,
No, that comes from, that's like beginner mode.
yeah,
Like if you care about those things, you have a little bit of developing to do over time. You know, it takes time to realize what things are important and what things aren't.
Mm-hmm.
And people have different priorities and outlooks. And I think with more experience and situations and stuff, like you kind of realize, or sometimes you have to look back on before and be like, oh, I shouldn't have judged that person so much. Like they're actually pretty cool. And then you realize like next time I'm about to judge somebody that I think, you know, maybe I'll think twice about it because they might end up being different than I thought too. And you learn with experience.
yep. Fingerboarding just brought me like so much discipline, along with skating too. But I feel the discipline and everything shows more in fingerboarding because, you know, it kind of shaped my mind in a certain way. Like if you work hard enough for something, like things will work out in your favor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, being sponsored, I'm super thankful and grateful for that. That I'm getting like, you know, stuff shipped out to me to try, to use for free and all this stuff. Like that's where I kind of like pride myself on that, and also like putting in the works and effort to like make my own money and keeping myself, you know, busy, keeping myself going with editing and filming. Like I love that stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just like my room is just filled with stuff that either was like given to me or I worked hard for it. Well, pretty much like worked hard for it, and it was like given to me by, you know, just like that. And some people, you know, just take it for granted, and some people just don't cherish, or they see like, oh, this person's getting like too much stuff, whatever. I'm just like, well, dude, I worked hard for it, you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. My biggest advice to people is just like, keep doing what you love, and you'll see the best results down the line.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep doing what you're doing. Show passion and commitment in whatever it is you're doing, and you'll succeed in anything. Whether if it's a job, whether if it's, you know, a brand new hobby you're doing, or starting your own company or whatever. Like, you know, it'll show, and people will support it. People will back it, and I mean, the continuous growth is what I'm trying to like still go for. Like I still want to grow. People might think or assume that I'm like happy where I'm at. Like, yeah, I'm happy, but there's still more room for growth, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's my biggest take on anything and everything.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're very similar in those ways too.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Love
So,
it.
yeah.
Good advice and good mindset in general. Yeah. Do you want to take us through your journey of your different sponsors that you had and how they shaped your outlook and approach to fingerboarding over time?
Sure. Let's see. I'll keep this short and sweet. There were some tiny companies on YouTube that were like looking for up and coming talent, I guess. So I remember my first ever sponsor was like FYB, is like a very, very like, it was just a kid doing them, right? But I was a kid too, but I was like probably a couple years older than him by like, I don't know, 2 years or 3. But you can see this person wanted to make boards and, you know, sponsor somebody. So I was lucky enough to get boards. It was like literally like the worst thing ever. I was showing Henry the other day the video with it, and he just thought like, dude, what's up with those the tail and kicker? I'm just like, I don't know, man. It was a wood board, and I just made it work. I saw everything, and I'm just like, but whatever. I ended up making it work, and through that video and producing clips and tricks, I ended up trying out for 4-corner fingerboards.
I didn't even know they had a team.
They had a team, but dude, it was like,
That's crazy.
yeah, it was an experience for sure, because trying out for that team gave me the confidence to like do better and keep going, because they had like a phase 1 and 2. So phase 1 anybody could try out, and at the end we'll say our results or their results, whatever. And if you make it a phase 2, we need to see like outdoor stuff and I don't know what. There's a whole bunch of requirements. So, you know,
Cool.
I ended up making and passing phase 1. So I'm just like, I saw my name on someone else's video. I was just like, whoa, that's so cool. I thought that was like the coolest thing ever. So I'm like, all right, time to like really, really go for it, right? So this could, I was thinking about it like, dude, this could like make or break, you know, probably my future career for the channel. But getting that little exposure from just making it to after phase 1, I'm just like, oh my god, like I could like possibly do something on my own and make something out of it. But you know, still in the end, that wasn't like also to have fun, you know. So I was having fun doing tricks and doing hard tricks for me. Like there's a challenge to that, and it's fun. Like, and it's a good satisfying feeling to accomplish and achieve.
Mm-hmm.
And then I forgot the sponsor in between, but I ended up trying out for ProWood. Somebody reached out to me. His name was Stun Guy 66 or something. So that guy ended up really liking my videos, and he's just like, "Hey man, like ProWood's trying out. You should like try out and everything, right?" 'Cause, so he kind of had like my back. He kind of like winged me in there with. Well, actually, he kind of made it seem like, hey, you should still try out, but you have nothing to worry about because I got you. I'm just like, okay. Like, when I made my tryout video, I remember like all I had to do was just submit a tryout video, but I was kind of like guaranteed in, sort of, because this guy really liked me. And he just reached out through YouTube, personal messaged me, and then we just made it work out. And when I got on ProWood, the level of my tricks and the consistency and what I was able to do for the time, dude, there's even some tricks that I did with the ProWood board I probably won't do again. So I kind of like jumped a bit of my I definitely progressed a lot.
How were their boards different? They were super steep, right?
They were pretty much on the steep side. They had medium concave, they had a shorter wheelbase, and they were shorter in length. So I thought that was good. It was good for my fingers because I don't have a big hand, whatever. So they got very easy to use very quick. And I ended up just thinking like that. This was now I'm remembering a little bit more better. So this was around the time when pro skaters were doing their full lengths on Thrasher, and just everywhere on the internet. And I'm just like, I think it'd be cool if I make my own full part fingerboarding, right? But it's gonna be with tricks that like I wanna do. It's gonna be spots I kind of want to create in a way. So I had like broken slabs of granite, and for sure this was way before the events out here in Cali. So I used with whatever I had, the tech deck ramps, I built my own little things with the granite slabs or whatever. And my mom had like a little cactus little pot thing, whatever.
Yeah.
And I ended up using that, and I just thought that was like, dude, like
Sick.
like the one little bad movement, I'm getting a cactus to my hand. You know, and it wasn't like a crazy big, it was just like little tiny baby cactus.
Yeah.
But still, like, if I'm trying to like, I gotta be careful how I bail, because like I could get like a little tiny splinter in there or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not trying to get like a little cactus, you know, even though that did happen a few times. But I'm not trying to make a thing out of it. So I ended up doing a full part, and it was like one of my full parts that got me on finger skate. I remember reaching out to somebody from finger skate. They got back to me, and they ended up putting me on their team. And I'm just like, oh my god, like there's so much quantity of stuff, and their ramps and everything were great. But I just remember thinking like, there was like no way I could probably get on. But the major sponsors was ProWood at the time, and then Fingerskate. I kind of helped them like push a little bit more in their marketing, like doing videos for them. They would send me a whole bunch of stuff to the point where it all didn't fit in my room, and I thought it was way too much. And I was just, like, literally, I would give some ramp to like my friends. I would even hook up my friends with like setups. I'm like, dude, this is way too much. What do you want? Like they sent me so many boards. I had too many boards at one point. Like, it was a good problem to have, but I just, like, my friends, I wanted them to get into it. So I'm just like, dude, you want a board? Like, just get one of these. Like, everything was all China, but like, still, anything's better than nothing. And my friends who played around with tech decks, they're just like, dude, these are like wood. Like, they were blown away. So I'm just like, yeah, you can have that one if you want. So I hooked them up. It was a good feeling, and they still fingerboard to this day.
Oh,
so
nice.
I think that's very cool.
Yeah.
And but yeah, Fingerskate helped me, not only helped me progress, but it kind of like shaped my friends who were skaters, who I skated with. That was their introduction as well. I don't want to take full credit for like them still fingerboarding to this day, but I did give them like probably like their first wooden complete setup or something like that.
Cool.
Because they were like having the tech time, just like, dude, here, like, you know, just pick whatever one you want, and you know. So I did hook them up, and I think I lent them a few obstacles, rails. Dude, they hooked it up so big. It was just like, there's a few unboxing videos that are like still on my old camera. I haven't uploaded because it was like 2 or 3, and I just barely uploaded the recent package, whatever. And it would take me forever to like upload them, but yeah, it was just too much at one point. So dream fulfilled, right?
Yeah.
But I was just like, it's still not enough, whatever. But
What wasn't enough?
the growth. I feel like I wasn't that good yet still.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
So the tricks I was doing, yeah, they were great, but I still want to do more, be more, and
Yeah.
you know, in the end during that time, like, you know, Black River being on, or getting on Black River or Flatface, whatever, that was like still a dream sort of. But as I got older, I'm just like, dude, like, I'm so happy where I am right now. Like, that was my dream as a kid, you know, like that was the goal, whatever. But I've learned like through time, like if you just keep doing your goals, like whatever, like if you keep constantly having goals for yourself, you'll have much more of a fun time in life, you know? So you have something to keep striving for.
Yeah.
And if you fulfill all your goals, like, okay, like, what now? You know? So that's kind of
Yeah.
like my fear of everything like that. But I'm super happy where I am now. Being on ARC, Device, and Level Edges, they're amazing sponsors. So, but back then, I'm just like not jumping ship sort of, but like when I was on Fingerskate and when I was in those Black River events, I had the China setup, and then that's when I knew, like, okay, I have to get like, not I have to get, but like it'd be cool to have like a wooden, actually handmade board. So doing the contest with that, winning a few boards, getting the Flatface. I think you gifted me the Flatface G13 if I remember correctly. You just said like, hey, you can have it. I set that up right away with the BRTs, and there was just such a huge difference. I'm just like, dude, I can't go back to Fingerskate, so I ended up just leaving. And then it opened up a huge door of opportunities for me. I got on Device, I got on Level, I got on Teak Tuning. I got on a whole bunch of companies that I was just like, okay, like, I'm happy where I am. And my tricks were still growing, videos were still growing. Tricks back then too, doing the full parts. That was a yearly new thing for me. And I'm kind of like taking a backseat on that, but I think I might get back into doing full parts again in my room, whatever.
You should.
I should.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, but I remember I wanted to do one last year, but I remember just being so busy. Like my own stuff. Even just keeping my Instagram page active was pretty hard enough. Let alone film a full blown part and editing it to like music I like. Like, not to say it was a chore, but like I have other stuff I gotta cut.
You
chop
gotta
on
be in
to,
the mood for it and have the time for it.
Exactly. So, but yeah, back then I was just producing videos after videos. It showed, and yeah, that was just my grind back then. And yeah, here we are.
Cool.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sweet. So, on a more human level, rather than just a fingerboard level, I think you got a lot of apparent strengths. I like to ask about strengths and weaknesses. I feel like your strength is probably something about your your dedication and your drive for doing things and for doing them well and stuff. But I could be wrong. Do you have anything else you would add to that as your strength?
Because I think you nailed it.
I learned it from this interview. I mean, I could see it a little bit before anyways, but talking this much is like, I bet he would choose that. But, yeah.
I would definitely go with discipline. I remember being asked this question, like, if you had to describe yourself in 3 words, what would it be? And one of them was like ambition, discipline, and I forgot the third word. But that was a long time ago.
Those are 2 good ones already.
Yeah. So I'm definitely very ambitious in anything and everything I do. So, but I do think maybe being a little bit too ambitious in whatever field, it could kind of be a weakness as well. Because if you know too much of everything, or if you know a little bit about everything, what are you then? So for example, like, I started getting very into video games, and I'm kind of in that field now, like understanding how the video game industry works. Like, I like learning that stuff. And like how crazy business deals, what could have been, what should have not been, whatever, but it happened by accident, whatever. I'm learning a little bit too much about that, to the point where I'm just like, dude, like, what am I going to do with this information? Like, I could possibly do that to myself, but I just pay attention to like so many different fields. I'm just too ambitious into like video games, kind of neglecting something else, you know? So I do feel, fingerboarding quality has kind of suffered in the past year, because I'm just too much playing with like, competing in here or playing that, or, it's stuff like that. But I feel like my ambition is too, it's kind of too much for me, that I feel like, some other stuff will suffer. Like photos, for example. Like, I get paid to do photos too. I shoot photos for the city of West Covina. Will my video quality suffer? Maybe, maybe not. It just depends what I'm doing. And if I'm doing both at the same time, no. Like, I can't do that. Because one will suffer more than the other. So if someone's trying to pay me for like photo and video and just me, like, it doesn't have to be anything crazy video. That's what they always like. That's the caveat, right? They think like, hey, I'll do it if it's not like whatever video. But like, here's the thing, like, I just can't produce whatever video just because, it's not really that important, but it'll be cool to have video. Like,
no, you want something serious.
I want something serious, and I want something good to where, like, even just a simple clip, I just want you to be like, whoa, like, okay, so can you film for us? Yeah, but I can't do photos at the same time because one will suffer than the other.
Right.
I could do both, and I'm happy I could have that strength, because some people who do video aren't photographers, and people who are photographers don't do video, because it's 2 very different things.
Yeah.
You would think it's almost the same, but like, no, it's honestly not.
It's a lot different. I've been noticing that in the last few years. When you look at a good photo, it's so different than watching a video, and it's like, there's actually significant differences in like the approach to producing that.
So
yeah,
and it'll show. Like, if I'm doing 2 at once, I'm just like, dude, like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, people are not meant to multitask as much as people try to do at the same time. And I notice with myself, I'll get obsessed with like a certain topic or something that's not fingerboarding for a little bit, and like you're right, it like takes away from the other things. Like, when you go too deep into something, too deep into one topic, and you get totally obsessed with it, and it's like, it's so fun to learn all those things, and then at some point you're just like, okay, but what am I going to do with this? Like, I've been in similar situations like what you've mentioned, and I feel like it's almost a good thing when that happens, and then you realize that it's happening, and then you get back into fingerboarding and you're twice as hyped as before, because you're like, I've been fingerboarding a little bit less than normal because I was obsessed with this random topic for the last 2 months or whatever. And then it's like, you get so hyped to fingerboard because you had a tiny break, and it's like even if you were still fingerboarding through that time, it's like your attention was a little bit divided, which is good because you can't just fingerboard your whole life without knowing anything else about anything else. Like you have to have those moments where you explore other things, and then you're always going to come back to what you like the most and what you do the best and all that. So I think it's a cool balance. When it gets unbalanced, it helps the overall long-term balance of it to like keep it fresh and exciting, and like you can't get burnt out if you have those little moments of exploring other things and then being like, okay, yeah, that was really cool, but now back to like my real hobby, you know?
back to things like coming out last year from Rendezvous. I think I kind of took a back seat the beginning of last year, and then when I think Ryan hit me up like, hey, we should come out to VU or something, or I forgot how that topic came around, but I think Scott and the SoCal crew, they were all planning to come out for April of last year. I'm just like, I haven't been fingerboarding in a bit. Let me make a trip out of this. And I hit up Brian. So I asked him if I could stay with him, and we made it work. We came here. I flew out from here, and honestly, that's like the best trip I've ever had in. Like, I think that was the first trip I had other than going to Mexico, but driving to Mexico is different than flying on a plane, you know? So that was the first time I flew in like years. I remember my anxiety was just like, my plane anxiety was just like crazy. And I'm just like, okay, like think things through for the next time you fly. So I'm just like, when I came out here for April VU of last year, oh man, it was just so much fun. It's such a different experience. I've been, traveling just locally here and there, but, it's nothing compared to like what these actual events are. So thankfully I was in a good financial position to like, plan my whole trip out at ease. And when I got back from VU, I'm just like, okay, it's on. So I got back, and my interest and everything just came back for fingerboarding, but like at a crazier level. I think I started filming more, started going out more with friends and hobbies. And one thing about me too, I didn't even mention this, I don't take my fingerboard out and about. It stays home.
Wow.
So I don't know if that's a weird thing coming from me, but like my fear of this leaving the house, if it's actually a setup I really like, then it's gonna stay in the house. Why? Because I don't want it to be like messed up by like a rough spot, messing up the wheels or anything like that. Even though this could like handle it, but the pop, the wood, I don't want it. I don't want nothing to be like interfered by that. And if something like that is like happening, or I think it's gonna happen, I just rather it stay home. I only take it when it's dedicated time for this.
Right.
Like Scott's house during sessions every Thursday. Okay, it needs to leave with me. An event, obviously. But going out to dinner with like friends or my girlfriend, whatever, staying here. Wait time, we're talking, whatever. Like, no, it's like I could be fingerboarding, but it's staying for the most part at the house. Unless everybody brought theirs after a skate session, then okay, I'll take mine, whatever. But it's always an afterthought.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty interesting to share because...
Yeah, that's cool. I bring mine everywhere, but it's always my like second setup. It's not like my main, whatever I'm using the most at the time. It's like too important to me. Like how you mentioned, you don't want it to get dented and chipped and whatever, like destroyed by crazy, or like you drop it in a drink or something stupid. So you just want to leave it home. But I'll always bring like a board that's pretty good, but it's not my main setup usually, because I have to be fingerboarding. Like, or if I see a spot, even just to get one or two quick tricks on it, it's like, it's more satisfying than being like, oh, I don't have my board on me, which is like rare. If I forgot it, but I try to bring it. I'm like so used to having it in my pocket.
Yeah, no, not me. Even having it in the pocket, like, I feel still like messes up little by little. That's just me, because I have a lot of stuff in my pockets, my phone, my wallet, my keys and everything. There's just too much stuff, and the less I can have in my pockets, the better. I don't know. That's just me. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The journey.
Where did your strengths come from, do you think? Like, you have an amazing discipline. I was just talking to Henry about his discipline, and now I'm curious. Like, you guys have different disciplines. There's some overlap, but it seems a little bit differently flavored.
I think my discipline for sure was developed because of skating. So if it wasn't for skating, I don't know what kind of discipline I'd have. Like, so take out skateboarding out of my life.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't know what to make out of myself if you took skateboarding out of my life. So I do thank skateboarding a lot for teaching me, getting back up, doing it again, being comfortable with failure. Because dude, there's this
that's
one.
huge.
Oh my god, you have no idea. So I remember I was skating this school with my friends, and it was a 6 stair, but I forgot what I was doing. I think I've kickflipped the stairs before. It was just a 6 stair, but it was huge for me because, I mean, I don't.
That's huge to me. I've only kickflipped a 3 stair before.
Oh really? So here I was, like, we're all just skating this and it. I think I kickflipped it before, but it was like kind of But usually when I call something and I do it, usually when I call something out skating, I thankfully was able to do it up until that point.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember just walking away, or I don't think it was kickflip. I think it was like varial here or something. So I remember just trying it for hours and hours until the sun set, and I'm just like, oh, dude, this is it. Like, I can't do it. There's no light, like, so I can't rely on the school light because it's not the best. So I remember just walking away from that defeated, but like I was bummed. I was so bummed, but I'm just like, all right, just get up and do it again, or just wait a week and just go back and just do it and try it again. Yeah. I ended up getting it, but I remember just being like so, like, not used to that I'm glad it happened early. And I remember it vividly. I'm just like, my buddy was walking all the way behind me because he knew, like, yo, leave me alone. So he was such a good friend because he knew me too well. And I'm just like, dude, just leave me alone. Like, I'm trying to walk by myself, right? But we ended up just being at my house, so he's just like, he knew. And but yeah, I guess just being super comfortable with like failure and like being scared all the time too, because life's a risk. Trust me, like being an LLC and being responsible for like all of these, government fees and all that, like all that stuff was very scary to me. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, dude, what if I miss one and I get fined by like, I don't know, 10,000, whatever. That's my biggest fear, right?
Yeah.
Skateboarding helped me get through that and be used to that, because like life's all at risk. Like, yeah, jumping off like 8 stairs is scary. You try it, okay, it wasn't that bad, and you just do it again. Same thing with like running a business. I was scared being my own LLC, like, during COVID. I'm not sure if I'm going to be working or not. But being an independent freelance was all like this. Mm-hmm. And when COVID hit, oh my God, don't even get me started. So I started losing jobs left and right. Women's Day, which was like early March, that's when we were announced lockdown, whatever. We weren't sure yet if the pandemic lockdown was going to affect us yet. It was affecting overseas, but not us yet. Like, this was like late February. I'm like already contracted for next month. I have events lined up with this person, that person, and then this client. Lockdown hits. I'm losing jobs left and right, and I was scared. So I invested the little money I had left into like a course to take the time to learn properly, like how to manage a business, how to edit a little bit more properly, because I feel like my edits were kind of like a mess, sort of. But with the course, it helped me like figure things out, help me understand a little bit more settings, help me understand settings a little bit more. Better composition, better lighting, better camera settings, better editing settings, and this. How about you use this? How about you use that? So,
where was that course?
It's called Full-Time Filmmaker.
Cool.
So, it was like a YouTube marketed sort of beginner course, but dude, that was like the best $600 I ever spent ever.
Cool.
Because it gave me the confidence to like deal with certain clientele my own. Mm-hmm. It helped me market myself much more better, and it helped me deal with certain personalities, certain egos. Hey, this is what happens on the job, rather than you like finding out the hard way,
Right.
you know, with certain people in
Yeah.
clientele.
That's awesome.
All of that like helped me and it guided me, and all that discipline for sure came through like skating. Like if I'm nervous at something, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Like flying out, oh, it sucks for my wallet and everything, but screw it, I'll just make it work. Having fun with the homies, taking my camera out, documenting all this stuff, it's worth keeping, worth treasuring, and making something out of it, you know? So, anything like being scared of is a good thing, you know? So, that's something that I for sure developed, and I was like the biggest scaredy cat ever. I still am when it comes to scary movies, but that's another thing.
So your biggest weakness is scary movies.
My biggest weakness is probably being scared and using and flipping that to my advantage. So for me, it's biting the dust, actually doing it, because there were some like probably decisions I should have taken, but I didn't because I was scared. But having that fear is like, like you should like it keeps me going. You know, there were some other fears where I'm just like, okay, I'm glad I kind of like trusted my gut a little bit, but I think the fear of missing out outweighs more than like, oh, you did good by biting the dust. Yeah. So yeah, that's just that's one thing for me too. Like that's probably one of my weaknesses. Like thinking a little bit too much about certain things, and there's the fear of missing out sort of, and just being scared of like just do it, and if it doesn't work, at least you can say you tried.
Yeah, totally.
So that's how I see things.
That's awesome. Tell us about those late flips you got.
Oh, the late flips.
Yeah.
Dude, they just like came. Can't do. Oh, I just did one.
Oh yeah, that was good.
I don't know. I just saw him through skating, and I just wanted to figure it out. I think I did see a few late flips. Not a lot through the early YouTube days, but I was seeing them a lot more on Instagram. And yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to perfect it. I wanted to like think of late flips as, I don't know. It's just, I just randomly did them, figured it out. Because I thought that was such a cool trick. Like, all right, let's take it to fingerboarding. And I kind of have it. I don't want to say I'm dialed in. It's still a very inconsistent trick. It's not like an ollie flip, right? Like, it's definitely not one of those tricks where you have it that dialed in.
Yeah.
It's still a struggle because the way how you pop it, like, matters. The way how you level it out matters. The way how you flick matters. There's a lot going on in just that one trick. It's hard to perfect. There's some people that have it way better than me, and like good for them, but it's a very hard and messy trick to where I take that as a challenge. Like if I could do it in a combo or in a trick, there's room for growth in like those late flips, so it's I feel like I do them a lot sometimes, but that's because like I'm trying to like kind of perfect it in a way. So if people are like, oh, he does too many late flips, or like if they know me because of the late flips, and
I like it.
I'm
cool with it.
I'm like, winning either or.
I want to see more of them. Like I want to see them in new ways, and I know you're always like trying to push it with the combos and stuff, and I love that. It's sick.
I would have combos written down on my phone from like years ago when I first got like my iPod Touch, whatever, and I have it synced to my iCloud, and like the tricks I wrote down years ago, I did them in like video parts, or I know I've done them.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh snap, like did this, I did this.
Have you done switch late flip back tail?
I think I
want to see that. I want to see it on that down ledge.
On that down ledge?
Yeah.
I definitely didn't do it down that down ledge.
You should.
I'll give it a shot. It's my last full day here, so I hope I could get it.
That would be sick.
That would be sick.
All right, let's see what else we got for questions. What color icy do you like? And why? Also where? That's from Jeff.
Jeff. High C or icy?
Icy.
Like the slushy, right?
Yeah. Slushy, icy, whatever you want to call it.
Dude, I've been craving that recently. Like, I went to go see Spider-Man, and that's the first thing I try to like look for after the movie, because there's certain movies that are like 2 hours plus. I try not to eat before that. I try to eat hours way before, because I don't want to get up mid movie and miss out on all the details.
I was gonna ask if you eat, because you've been here for almost 7 days now, and I haven't seen you eat once, and I've been
Really?
eating the whole time. Yeah.
I ate noodles. Well,
Okay, yeah, you did eat noodles that one day. I remember that.
I'm starting to notice when you eat, I had probably just finished eating, but when people were here,
okay.
you were over there, and I was literally like the only one in the house. I was in the kitchen. I was just making food, whatever. But and I would eat with. I mean, I ate with Henry. You didn't see us eating on the couch. I swear we
What'd
were
you
all eating
have?
together. I had that Philly cheesesteak.
I didn't see that. I
Steak and
believe
cheese,
you.
whatever?
I believe you, but I didn't see it.
You didn't see it, but yeah, I mean,
Must be the timing then, yeah.
dude, I eat a lot.
Was NBC like a pivotal moment for you, or did that kind of like influence your career direction, or was it just kind of a fun thing and then it ended when it ended?
It showed my discipline for sure. It showed more discipline. That's pretty much all it is. So yeah, I was just interning for NBC for every summer while I was in college, and the requirement is just submit a like portfolio resume or something like that, and I had like nothing on my resume. Like, dude, I am a high school student, senior. I'm already going to Northridge, but like, what do you put on there? You know, you can't work until you're 18 in California. I think it's different here, but over there, like, how do I fill out something? Okay, so I ended up doing like a documentary. We did a documentary class that actually produced a documentary, and we were all part of it. We worked on it, we contributed, and I put in a few skate clips and everything, because it kind of like, there was a point of showing who you are. It was called Who is Bob Bates? That's the documentary I worked on. There's like skate clips of me in the end. And yeah, that got me a summer internship for NBC for like my 5 years of college.
Cool.
Every summer, and yeah, it was cool. That was cool.
Nice. What were you doing there, actually?
Just, you know, internship stuff. Just just paperwork that no one wants to do or deal with.
Okay.
And but I was learning a lot. So I actually saw the whole production of certain shows like as it folded in front of me.
That's sick.
Yeah, so I saw like the production of Parenthood. I just saw how our production looked like, and it just made me feel comfortable to where when it comes to my stuff, I've been dealing with this since like fresh out of high school. Like this stuff, cables everywhere, cameras, equipment. It's a walk in the park for me. But for somebody who's like still learning, they're just like, I don't know what to do. Like I'm never like, relax. Like
Yeah.
I'll take initiative and be like, hey, like relax. I got this. Just don't worry about it. Just keep carrying this, whatever. So, the intimidation is definitely not there with me anymore. It was at one point, but yeah, being exposed to all this, doing everything, and even like just setting up like a wedding and everything, like that's a production in itself. And I seen the behind the scenes, the process, carpet, flowers. It's like the same thing, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
yeah, the discipline to actually go out and do that, as compared to the person last year who got it, it was just given to him because, like, oh, no one else cares. You're the only one who cares. Okay, but it was me and like 5 other students, so I had to stand out. Because it's gonna like make or break my whatever, right? And the minute when I got it, I started working. It was a paid internship, thankfully, and I'm like, all the money I made the first summer run with that, I like invested it back into like camera gear, fisheye. I think I got a fisheye with that money, and yeah, it was good.
That's
It was
awesome.
dope. Yeah.
Very cool. So, what color is slushy?
Color slushy. Oh damn, we didn't even answer it.
Yeah, we got distracted by ordering food.
We did. We were talking about. I segued it to like movies. Like, I'm sorry. Red and blue. It's the red and blue. Like I'm always looking for red and blue, cherry and blueberry.
Nice.
There's Coke and everything. It's cool. Just cherry, I tried. It's just too much of a citrus taste to it. But yeah, I like the blend between blueberry and cherry.
Nice. Let's see what else. Favorite post-VU food?
Dude, for sure, Midtown Market.
Cool.
The pizza.
Nice.
Yeah, that was so good. I think I had that first VU and after VU for November and April.
Cheese or what flavor pizza?
I think I got anything pepperoni mushroom. I'm a huge mushroom guy.
Ooh, I love mushrooms too. That's awesome.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
My friends are like all disgusted by it. I'm just like, dude, it's freaking.
It's amazing.
It's good. Like I don't know why you guys think mushroom is disgusting, but
I didn't like them when I was younger though, but I've been enjoying them for a while.
Mushroom pizza,
Yeah.
pepperoni, mushrooms. That's more than enough for me. Bacon, grilled chicken. I'll add in every
Ooh, yeah.
now and then, but that's a safe go-to for me. Anywhere, and as long as I see that option in like any like pizza joint, I'm happy.
Cool. That's awesome. Another food one. What is your go-to order from Raising Cane's? Is that food? What is Raising Cane's?
You never heard of Raising Cane's?
We don't have that here.
There is one here.
There is?
Yeah,
What
Doug
is
told
it?
me, and Henry told me he drove by one.
Is that donuts?
No, it's not donuts. It's chicken.
Oh.
Chicken?
Fried chicken, yes.
Ooh, order now. Cancel the tie. Order some chicken.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
No, but I think Henry said, and I think Doug Bodkin, they said it's somewhere in the city. Apparently, that's
Okay.
like a brand new one. Oh, I even think I heard
Wow.
Andy's talk about there's a Raising Cane's here.
Whoa.
So
All right.
you guys
I
need
have
to try some.
Yeah.
Caniac combo. You need to mark it down. Caniac combo. That's a 6-piece. No slaw, extra toast, butter on both sides for both toast. And whatever drink you want. Oh, and also get an extra king sauce.
Ooh, king sauce.
The king sauce.
Sounds like my kind of sauce.
Yeah.
What's the king sauce?
So the king sauce is just like it's just their special any whatever kind of sauce. Oh, dude, my stomach is growling. um, so it's like
cane sauce. I thought you said king.
no Cane's, the
Okay,
Raising
yeah,
Cane
the name
sauce.
of the place, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like that Worcestershire sauce, whatever. Dude, I cannot say that word.
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire?
Whatever.
Whatever. That.
Worcestershire, I think.
It's that orange sauce with peppers and I don't know what else in it mixed in it.
Yeah.
You need 3 of those. So the
Three?
Caniac, yeah, the
Okay.
Caniac combo comes with 2, but you're gonna need that 3 if you're gonna dip it with fries, because 2 it's cutting it short, but if you're gonna be doing that with your fries, you need that extra sauce, and it's just like it's probably the perfect amount. 3 sauces, Caniac combo, 6-piece. Don't get the coleslaw. That's why you say no slaw.
Is
to
it
toast.
bad? Like you
It's
don't even
horrible.
want it touching your food?
No, it's very bland. It's literally like it's just like how do I even say? It's just cabbage and a little thing.
Do you like coleslaw when it's
I like
done right?
coleslaw, but it's not
Okay.
made good.
Wow.
there. So
I'll be wary of their coleslaw then.
Go-
Maybe I won't even try it.
go right ahead, ask for the coleslaw, but you're not gonna like it. I like coleslaw, like KFC coleslaw. I'm getting it.
Yeah, I like a good one.
You know, like
Good.
that's a good one for
Yeah.
what it is, fast food. You know, but like obviously the ones like at restaurants, whatever, they should taste good,
Yeah.
better than those.
Yeah.
But for what it is, fast food coleslaw, not it.
Okay.
Cane's coleslaw is not the best.
I kind of want to try this worst coleslaw ever. Like, sometimes, I don't know, I'm hyped.
You'll love the
I'm
toast.
gonna try it just because I'm either gonna be like, this is horrible and it's gonna be funny, or I'm gonna be like, this is not that bad, but I feel like it's gonna be pretty bad.
If you have the coleslaw in front of you from Cane's, you need to FaceTime me.
Okay,
'Cause
deal.
I need to see your
I
reaction.
can do that.
If you say it's not that bad, I'm gonna be rolling my eyes at you. Maybe like seriously, Mike.
Yeah.
Are you
No,
sure?
I mean, I'll be serious. Like, normally I would eat like organic, homemade by my mom. So like, if it's
That already sounds so good.
yeah, it's not gonna be good then.
It's not gonna be good. However, you just explained it that your mom makes already sounds way better than Cane's.
Yeah, it's great. It's so delicious.
I feel like it's frozen and it's thawed out in the morning
Gross.
in the little plastic container.
Yeah.
Like it's shipped out in the little plastic thing. That's how bad it is.
All right, sweet. I'm hyped.
Just thank me later once.
Yeah. I'm hyped for the actual good stuff though.
Oh, stop. We need to stop.
Okay, all right. No more food until he gets here, unless anyone else asks. What? How much money would you pay for a flat face? Do they mean a flat face fingerboard or like getting hit in the face flat? Some people would pay for that.
I wouldn't pay to get slapped in the face.
All right. Well,
I'll
then
probably
what
just
about
tell
the
my friend
fingerboard?
to do it. I'll
Yeah.
probably just tell my friend like, "Yo, slam me real quick," but he'll be confused like, "What's up with you?" But yeah, my friends are just like extra. I love my friends, by the way. Shout out Gilbert, Zeke, Eric, Daniel, Chris. That's about it. Just I like keeping the pool of friends like pretty small. That's like the main group. Like every day, like we're the chat, gaming, Call of Duty, going out to eat, local friends. Because everybody in
Yeah.
the fingerboard community, especially in SoCal, we're just so far away from each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like the nearest person is probably Scott, and he's 20 minutes away on a good day. But with traffic, like literally an hour, maybe even more.
Oh
And
man.
so discouraging to like,
Yeah.
yo Scott, let's go get like something to eat. An hour to get there. Never mind. Like, and then I think everybody else is like probably a little bit worse because they're. Raul lives in Torrance. Rogan just had a baby. He's in Marina Del Rey, which is a little bit more south from Scott. Evan, he's probably a little bit more convenient for me because he lives by Disneyland and I go to Disneyland a lot because I have the year pass. So,
Nice.
yeah, I just bug him like, yo, let's go to downtown Disney or something. And we just go Pokemon hunting and then eat or something. So,
Cool.
yeah.
What's his favorite ADTR song?
Ooh, that's a good question. A Day to Remember. You and my older clips, you could hear like the whole Homesick album. But it's funny because my favorite album is the Homesick album, but I don't think my favorite song is in the Homesick album. I think it has to be Right Back at It Again, Common Courtesy album.
Cool.
That song's so good, but the album of Homesick, I'm so close to getting it tattooed here.
Wow.
I really want to get that album cover just tattooed here. So I'm trying to map like future tattoos out. My left side is the more Mexican side, and my right side is like the more American side.
Cool.
So Anton, when he tattooed me here last year at your house,
What did he give you?
he gave me the eagle with the. It's like the hawk eating the eagle snake, whatever. It's like the symbol of where Mexico is founded. It's on the flag,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a meaning to it. I just forgot exactly what it was. Can't think of it at the moment, but I guess like it's just the hawk or eagle just eating a snake, and
Wow.
Anton, his designs had something similar to that.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, do me this. Did you ever see it?
I don't know. Let's see it right now.
Oh, right here. Bam.
Oh yeah. Whoa.
He did such an amazing job.
That's sick. Dude, that's awesome. Looks really good.
Mm-hmm. So, I love that. So I think I'm gonna do more like Mexican side on the left, my body, and then
Mm-hmm.
more American stuff, my right side. So the band is from Florida, so doesn't get more any, American than Florida, So
Sick.
yeah, I just love their music. But Right Back at It Again. That's a banger for me.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Put it on after. We need more videos from him teaching people how to film and edit fingerboarding properly. That's a kind
That's
of cool
interesting.
idea.
I was actually thinking about doing something like that, but
That would be sick.
But at the same time, I'm just like, do people even want something like this?
They want it. Go for it. And also, people don't know what they want till you give it to them. If you do something awesome, they might not have asked for it, but if they're like, they see it they're interested enough to click on it, and then they enjoy it and they get something out of it, that's all, it's good.
True.
You should go for it. If you feel the inspiration to do it, I think it'll definitely be something that benefits people. Like, it's not just another fingerboard mini. It's like something that stands out and brings value long term. You're going to change somebody else's next 5, 10, 20 years of filming fingerboarding after they watch it.
I can actually help somebody like
Yeah.
stir the way how I started, just much better, much quicker.
Yeah.
But isn't Chris Daniels already doing that on YouTube? I feel like there's.
I think his are different though.
Different?
And if you watch his, you're going to make a Chris Daniels video. If you watch yours, you're going to make an Alex Garcia video. So, like, there needs to be multiple different ones so you can take a little from both. Because yours won't be the same as his. And if I did one, it would be different than both, too. So, yeah, that's a really cool idea.
Should probably tap into that.
Tips on how someone can be a full-time photographer / videographer. I think you gave a lot of tips throughout the episode, but anything else you want to add?
Specific tips for that is just never settle for anything less of it. Do with what you have meanwhile, but if you could do or like invest a little bit in more like a not an entry level camera, for example, like the crop sensors camera, those are like what the Nikon the Nikon D lines and below, like the D56 100 or something like that, the Canon T3Is or whatever. And I haven't looked too much into this, but the Canon R10s and Canon R7s or something, they're kind of like a mid between beginner and professional, and you can get away with like very good content with that. Those kind of camera lines, they just got announced like a year or two ago, and I kind of feel like buying one, but at the same time I'm just like, I have that guy, I have these guys, and they're all full frame, and I think those are still kind of cropped. So if you can invest or borrow money from your folks, whoever could help you out, buying a full frame camera, produce whatever you can produce out of that, show it to people, show it to like potential job offerings, it'll pay itself, and you'll make money off of it more. Because for me, when I bought a full frame camera, I bought the Canon EOS R back in early 2019. I was nervous buying that thing. I was so nervous.
Yeah.
But those kind of fears is good, because that camera ended up paying it off by itself, and it keeps me sustained. It took me to a point where I could like financially grow and upcharge some stuff, because like, hey, I produce this kind of quality, what do you think? So people like it, and it's not there is a huge difference between full frame and crop sensor qualities, at least in my eyes. Like, crop sensor stuff is more grainy, and like it requires a lot more work fixing at like 1600 ISO. But these cameras, for as dark as it is here and well lit, I'm like at 200 ISO. Good luck getting it on those cameras, because you'll be for sure at 16 or maybe 2500, because sensors and everything, the light sensitivity matters. So if you're outdoors with a crop sensor, you're fine.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to be indoors filming fingerboarding and everything, good luck.
Or filming weddings or anything. It's
anything.
not always outside.
Yeah, anything indoors, like, good luck. Because the quality shows. I was in a low-lit room with an entry-level camera doing photography. Oh, dude, the pictures are just so bad. And someone paid me to take those photos, and I just feel bad. I'm just like, dude, no.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I invested in...
get the right equipment.
Yeah, get the right equipment. And once you get the right equipment, I can't stress this enough. Understand what your equipment does. I've done productions with people trying to figure out the buttons the day of. Like, dude, are you serious? Like, go out and play with it. Don't just think of it as just like a hobby thing, right? Like, or no, don't think of it as like
just
I'll learn on the job.
Yeah.
No, like, that's the worst thing you could ever do. Like, know enough your equipment. I'm not saying be a master at it and like teach the next person whatever. I'm saying like understand your settings, understand what everything does, and understand what you could do to it to benefit you on the job, make your life easier.
That's great advice.
Like, some people learn as they go, or learn on the job, or they learn how to shoot tricks. Like, let's say I buy a brand new camera. I got an event tomorrow. I'm gonna get some clips with this at an event tomorrow. Okay. You just look like a fool because you're trying to figure out your camera, like filming probably the craziest trick ever. Someone trying to do a nollie lay flip backside nose blunt on a hand or whatever, right? And if you miss it, or if you don't know what you're doing, or your friend is trying to figure out with you, and then you just look like a fool.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, learn the equipment beforehand, not like at the last minute or during the actual thing that matters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great advice. We got a few more little ones here. Evil Nunu says, dang, I haven't seen Alex since Beast Pant events in Pomona a couple of years back.
Evil Nunu?
Yeah.
Nunu sounds familiar.
I don't know who that is. I'm not sure.
It's probably the kid who would do like kickflip late shoves. I think I remember who Nunu is, but...
Cool. Well, he says what's up.
What's up? Yeah, I think I remember him because he would always challenge me in a game of skate. It'd be cool seeing him at events because he was like a little kid. For whatever reason, I feel like that kid was going to be tall.
Yeah.
So I wonder how grown up he is because
Cool.
he was like, I don't know, 12, 13. It's been like 6 years.
Wow.
So he's probably like 19 or 20 at this point. So I don't know. It'd be cool to see him.
Yeah. We'll check out his page
Hope
later.
you're doing good.
Oh, yeah. John Coyne says, ask about his dog.
My dog, dude, I love my dogs. I love my dogs way too much. You know, I sleep with them. They're clean for the most part until they step on like, you know, like too much dirt or whatever. They have too much fleas. But yeah, my dogs, they're amazing. 2016, I got my first dog. I'm just like, I don't know what to do. So that I just learned as I went. My dog's name is literally called 26, but 26 in Spanish.
Sick.
So yeah, it's just like a different is good, right? And then my other dog, her name's Cora. We got her back in 2019, and yeah, she's amazing too. They're both amazing. I love them so much.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm a dog guy. I love cats too, but I'm just more of a literally every morning, the minute I wake up every morning, unless I have to be somewhere super early, I go walk my dogs, feed them, and then I start my day.
Yeah.
So literally, like, I wake up, I kind of miss that feeling because I'm so used to like putting on my shoes and, you know, walking them outside, whatever. But yeah, I can't wait to get back home to do that.
Cool. How often do you sesh at Dynamic Headquarters? How are job and hobby lifestyle lining up?
If I can make it out, I definitely will make it out. But there's like a whole 1 or 2 months I couldn't make it because of the work life. It was just like so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
All of November of last year, for sure, I didn't go. Well, mind you, they were here for VU. But like, I think it was like October, and I didn't see him until like mid-November. I mean, mid-December. So like, there's like a good month and a half we didn't like.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to make it. One, because the VU weekend, but and then plus like Thanksgiving and everything, whatever. But I probably didn't see him until probably like until after the New Year. I didn't see them. But that was because like the holidays and everything. But there were still sessions in between, sort of. I just couldn't make those because either I'm doing a wedding. I did a wedding in Puerto Vallarta in like mid-November. And literally when VU was done here, I had 1 day for myself to like get ready, my stuff ready, my gear ready to fly out to Mexico.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was like, that was such a crazy 2 weeks. And every weekend I was super busy from like mid-October all the way to like mid-November. So that whole month, weekends, I was busy as hell. Super.
Yeah, you're always running around. It's crazy.
Yeah, I try to make it to like every Thursday, but there's just some that just won't let me. There's just some events that just won't let me, and a lot of Jewish people, they get married on a Thursday. So if a last minute wedding comes up and they get married on a Thursday, I'm there because, you know, doing Jewish weddings are fun, you know. And if there's a wedding and those occupy my whole day, I start from like 10:30 a.m. and I don't end till like 1 a.m.
Whoa.
Yeah, those are like crazy days.
Yeah.
But I enjoy doing them. Yeah, my body's super tired, but they're fun and I like doing them.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
So yeah.
Super cool. Last question, I think. Yeah, last question. What was your biggest challenge in life and how do you overcome it? Did fingerboarding have any influence?
2020 was probably it was a challenge for everybody, and it was understanding what the economy will be like and learning as everything was going, during the pandemic, like, it was a burden for all of us. But that was my biggest fear when I was like losing job after job. I'm just like, dude, I went to school for this. What am I going to do if this is not going to work out?
Yeah.
But I ended up making more money during the pandemic than my last 2 previous years working together. And I'm just like, whoa, what am I doing? Like, remember when I said I invested my little last money on the course? That helped me just catapult a little bit more.
That's awesome.
And I was growing, I was developing a little bit more my creative field. And I'm just like, how in the hell am I making more money than my last 2 years working for somebody else, but taking jobs directly during the pandemic?
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, I need to understand what it is that I'm doing. Well, I did understand, but it was all in the course, and like actually doing it, I'm just like, oh my God, like, wow. So for me, my challenge was, how do I succeed with what's going on?
Yeah.
And without the pandemic, if I could make it through the pandemic, I could make it through probably any year after, So thankfully that's been going on and everything's been going very well for me. And, the more business expenses I could like make out of things, the better. So like, for example, this trip, it's going to be a business. I'm writing like everything off of, but that's because I need to, because if I profit more, and if the government sees that, and if I don't report my expenses that I've done back into my business, I'm paying them more money when I could pocket that money more for myself and make a good time out of it. Or like getting, any little thing, like even just like buying a memory card, I like keep track of.
Yeah, I mean, that's all for your business. Like, even all the stuff you did here behind the scenes, like helping us get the quality better, and like going to the store to get that hard drive at the last minute, like that's gas money for a business expense.
Yeah,
like,
and I'm like clocking all of that.
Yeah, because it's important. It's like those are real expenses. Like, they shouldn't fall on you. They should fall on your business, because it's like video business.
Yeah, so like stuff like that too, like calculating, keeping track of certain stuff. That's all like just a big struggle. But yeah, those were like all of that goes back to my discipline that I developed because of fingerboarding and skating. Like, just do it if you're nervous to try it, and if you do it, just keep doing it again until you actually succeed. So I don't know, for sure I think skateboarding helped contribute to that a little bit more, but it all wouldn't have been because of fingerboarding, because how I started that first. I say for sure, like, getting through hard times like that, I have to thank the discipline I developed through, a piece of wood with 4 wheels on it.
Yeah,
so,
it's awesome.
Yeah,
super cool. It's
a good way to question. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's a good way to end the show.
I say so.
Yeah.
Oh, I had so much fun out here, man.
That was really awesome.
Yeah.
Me too. I've been enjoying it a lot.
Let us know how this area looks. Is it too distracting, or should he carry on more with these? Let us know.
Yeah. Put your comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Down there.
And hit the bell.
DM Mike. No, I'm just kidding. Don't DM Mike. Just let us know in the I don't know, the actual comments. Hopefully the feedback on this is very good.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear it.
So. Woo! Can
Awesome.
you get my board back?
No. Only if I land this. Ah, that doesn't count. Not used to it. There it
nice.
is.
Time to eat.
Yeah.